Hopefully it's just not a breath within the market and we don't continue to the downside. I would rather some topside continuation. Hope everyone has a fantastic session. We're now sending it to Neil and Sean.
Care.
Welcome back, everybody. While you didn't go anywhere, you were sticking around in the midday show for sure as the market continues to climb to the highs. And I just remembered, I didn't remember, I saw it on the thumbnail.
Okay.
We didn't even talk about Robinhood reporting after the bell. You know what? And I place the blame. You should always take personal responsibility for your own misgivings. That's obvious.
Right, obvious.
However, I place the blame solely on you, the viewers.
Yeah.
Why? Because
Get him, Neil.
No, I really don't. But here's the reason why I think I forgot about it. Because this morning when we were talking about like the visualizer, like people were asking about SoFi and like there's a lot of fintech names got thrown out there. And Robinhood's there now, but I don't recall this being a hot topic this morning, Robinhood. So that kind of surprised me. That's a big one. We'll obviously discuss what we think about it. There was a question about it yesterday in the afternoon. I think you asked the question.
Yeah.
It was Robinhood or Palantir right here. Was it Palantir?
Yes.
It was Robinhood.
Robinhood or Palantir, yeah.
Palantir?
Yeah. You chose Robinhood. Was it Palantir? I think it was Palantir.
I think it was Palantir. But that wasn't even in the context of earnings. So a lot at stake.
We didn't even realize that.
Yeah, a lot at stake for them in this market recovery, let's just say. Fluffy Hippo, it is easy to blame. I'm joking. It's the exact opposite of what you should do. Like that's all. I'm literally doing the aftermarket show today. And most of the time I'll have a decent idea of like the biggest names that are reporting. You know, you remember it during the week, but I forgot about Robinhood today. I plumb forgot if that's even a thing that people say anymore.
They don't.
No, they don't. I know they don't. That's why I said it. IBIT is almost, I waited all day. I'm like, okay, well, if IBIT's not trending down, Bitcoin's not trending down, then it was 105 area resistance. So wait. And it never was. So the good news, I never traded IBIT. Traded a bunch of other things, though. Half worked, half didn't. But right now, I got eyeballs on this, and that's going to be IBIT. If we're talking about Robinhood, or at least I'm talking about Robinhood, it is worth pointing out, like a bunch of other things, it is on one today, almost wiping out. I mean, it's green, so it closed the lows yesterday, but almost getting back to yesterday's highs, which I would suspect, might be a little bit of topping resistance for Hood. It's been an absolute beast this year, as is a lot of names in fintech, to be honest.
We played a day two play. I mean, Neil, I haven't traded many names at all. I traded the same names. Again, we're actually long Rivian right now. We just got to piece out on that. It's not working out the greatest here, this long Rivian of mine. But we'll wait on that. But Palantir, we had to fight with it early, man. We talked about that. We have one stop out right there. Then the rest is history to the upside. So we're still holding on to some Palantir. Let's see if that can continue to work out for us a little bit here today. I saw this crazy, I have a crazy headache. I don't know. My kid was a little bit sick. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Don't say that.
But I thought it was like, because it's pretty dark outside right now. It's getting.
Didn't Tree say it's supposed to rain?
Yeah. It is supposed to rain. It is going to rain. So
got my umbrella.
Alert for that. $6 in the money here on Palantir. The story really of the day, though, I think is AMD. I mean, AMD has caught a bid throughout the midday there. And just boom. I don't know. I didn't see much trading from those guys on these kind of names, but there's a nice upside play from 250 all the way to 260, almost straight fire for RIVN. For AMD, Rivian's a different story. I'm long. This might come out right now. I just got some out at 60 there. We were trying to go short. We actually made a decent money short right there on Rivian until eventually I decided to flip over into the long. So right now we're long at 54. I'm just trying to play off this 50-period moving average. That's where we reloaded. I'm not going to reload again right there, but just a couple back and forths here with Rivian, out and then stopped out once it broke 50, and then we went long again, and now we're trying to see about that story. But that's what we're doing right into here. We were saying Neil's now feeling the heat, and we know Sharif was too. It's these screens are great, but they're hot. It's the screens, Sharif, I think.
No, which actually is not a bad thing, because
no, it's fine.
If you watch the morning show, and anyone that does, you see me do two things constantly in the morning show. I'm like nibbling on stuff. I do time-restricted eating, so I don't eat anything until like 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm constantly nibbling on food in the morning, and I'm always doing this. I'm rubbing my hands, I'm holding my coffee because it's freezing cold, and you know it's true.
Yeah, oh yeah. No,
but these screens are providing like a nice warmth behind us.
Yes.
Like that's fantastic. It looks great, feels great. There's nothing on it right now. You guys can't see. There is a picture on. I don't know. I can't move enough so that you can see the corner.
They can see the bulls. The bull?
No, I meant on there's actually a picture.
Yeah, the
on
dog
the
that I thought was
corner.
mine,
It's
but
like a dog. Oh, there it is. Right there.
That's like Bell. That's almost
It looks
exactly
like
what Bell
Sean's
looks
Bell.
like. Yeah.
Which is kind of.
I mean, mine's way cuter, but that's close.
I agree. Bell is much cuter. When we're ready for the rundown, we will go over to it. But just because you'd mentioned AMD, this is it's an all-day trend. AMD, slightly. It's been okay, but I only went short a few times, and kind of flat there and one there, and looking for the all-day trend break as well. Who was calling me? I don't recognize it, so I'm just going to ignore it. I'm not going to answer it.
That's the new thing about that caller thing with Apple. I don't get any more of those calls, man. The Apple screener now. I don't.
Yeah, my dad just.
Yeah, I don't know how that's working so good, but it works great.
Dr. Darkroom said, "What's the point of the screen if your monitors are in front of you?"
Valid.
Well, the screen's not those. That's for you guys, not.
Yeah. Oh, those screens.
Like these are for you guys. But that's not. This isn't for.
It's for the show.
It's for
yeah,
the show.
we have a lot of ideas.
Right? It's not necessarily about us. Like we have plenty of screen reels. We actually got more at our new setup.
It'd be pretty cool. Like if we had like the hot list back on that thing.
Yeah, like I imagine like right now you could have this visualizer. You could have this visualizer. You could have like the 10 5 biggest decliners and 5 biggest advancers or something like that. You could have what the overall markets are doing, and the Nasdaq, the Dow, the S&P. I don't know why I said the Dow before the S&P. Like that kind of a thing could all constantly be up there, and we could throw all kinds of things in there, and you guys could give us suggestions. What do you want to see behind us at all times, and what do we want to see on the desk? What's important information? So it's incredibly versatile. Of course, during the rundown, we can have the rundown itself, which we're about to do right now. I don't know what the top symbol is going to be, probably META. So let's go to Sharif and find out.
AMD.
You think so?
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys are locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers right there is to get into the chat and vote every day. You got to throw in that $sign, though, before you throw in the ticker. Whatever ticker you like, just throw in the $sign. Let's look, though, at all 4 major averages. And yes, it's a nice green day. All 4 major averages in green territory being led here by the NQ, up over 1%, working its way closer to that 26,000 point area. We're about 25,833. Likewise with the ES up a little bit more than 2/3%, up into that 68.47, almost at that 50 point area. The Dow, the worst performing of the 4 major averages on the day, above 47,000, but below 47,500, up 0.54, and the best performing major average, the Russell 2000, still below that 2,500 point area, but working its way right back up. The first ticker, though, as decided by you guys, META. Good recovery day here for Meta. It's not the strongest performing Mag 7 name on the day. That is reserved for Tesla, up 4%, but a nice little bounce back up, guys. No news.
Meta
Doesn't need any news. META.
No, I mean the Nasdaq's up 1%. I mean, if Meta was down, I'd be very concerned. So the fact that it's not is really, really nice. But I haven't even looked at Meta really.
Oh, I looked at it because, look, I already. Excuse me. I said I was gonna. No frog in my throat. I said I was gonna dip by this one in front of 620 bucks. It never hit yesterday. It didn't hit today. So I just kind of, as I said, I wanted to DCA into this one after earnings. Well, I mean, I'm already in it. I want to DCA more shares into it is the best way to put it. So 20% of that went in today, just after 11 o'clock. I believe I got like 36 or something like that, like 636. That literally doesn't matter, but it's obviously not the 622 that I thought I was going to buy that first 20% in. It doesn't make a difference. What has happened is I just heard Sharif doing a little bit of VWAP. Apparently he's a fan. I know about VWAP, Joe. I mean, come on. I don't know a lot of contemporary music because it's not necessarily my thing, but I know VWAP. But a bit of a double bottom got made here, finally on earnings, and it was able to break the prior day high. So like a lot of things have gone well for this low. I think maybe some confirmation tomorrow. I don't want to chase this move. The futures are rolling back over. Rolling over is not the right word. The futures are curling here.
I think chasing is what you're saying is right, because like today you're up 1% on the Nasdaq. It's a huge battle back. it is, if you're starting to get long now on some of these names, it is chasing the move a little bit, right? Especially if you think that the market does have, which I do think as well, has a little bit more downside to come here.
Like overall, I think.
Yeah.
But I think if you're long term, like to me, like I think if you're buying for, oh, I'm trying to buy dips in the long term, like, yo, you could start today or you could have started yesterday.
Right, 200
but I'm not convinced like everything's out of the water. Like you look at Meta, look at the shellacking that Pinterest took in terms of getting smoked, and Meta hasn't even come close to that point where it fills in the gap either.
The thing is, Meta makes more money in one day than Pinterest does all year.
Yeah,
right.
Well, if anything, Pinterest's best bet is Meta doesn't care, but if Meta were to pick them up, but the problem is Meta doesn't care. I think Pinterest, and I don't know why we're jumping to Pinterest, actually there is some logic to jumping to Pinterest right now because it's sort of a similar name. I just feel like one of their best paths is going to be maybe they get an acquisition. I just like Meta probably doesn't need them or even want them. What's happening on Apple?
I love Apple, and honestly, like I can't believe.
Well, there's news here.
Oh, come on, give me a freaking break. We were long Apple was a trade that I really, really liked, man, and I didn't get back into it. I have a brand new plan, though, guys. Like I have a new plan of how I'm going to be trading coming up, and it's going to I'm gonna light this place on fire with it. Like just got in it. Love the long for Apple, but missed it. We'll wait to see what the story is. But there goes Apple. Nice little break. I don't know what that was, but it was a nice little move up. Every move up in Apple is like a couple $1 billion of market value. Yeah. What
Apple finalizing a pact that would pay Google roughly $1 billion a year. Google. I'm just reading it from online here, and Gemini AI model to help run Siri features due in 2026. Apple to use 1.2 trillion parameter Google model to power Siri. So that's obviously both Alphabet and Apple.
Yeah, they both did the exact same move.
Yeah, they both had the exact same spike through the high. You might have just missed Apple.
Wait a second, Apple's not going to pay Google, though. Is that what you read?
No, they're paying them $1 billion a year.
Apple is?
Yes.
$1 billion, that doesn't seem like that much at all.
$1 billion is not a lot. I mean, look,
they're paying
$1 billion is a lot of money, obviously, but $1 billion to Apple.
Dude, these other no, it's not that. It's just that these other companies have spent hundreds of billions of dollars developing these LLMs, and Tim Cook just comes in here and is like, "Yo, let's just do this on something that doesn't like Apple sneezes and that comes out of their pocket." iPad revenues were what, $30 billion last quarter. Now they get to use Gemini, probably the best LLM. They just get to put that in there for free?
It's up there.
Man. Oh, man. Damn, that was a lot right there. I don't know if you guys heard that.
That particular sound, it might not be the loudest,
Andy.
but it was a little intense.
Yeah, okay. Let's go back over to the desk. That is a dirt cheap deal for Apple. I am very excited with that being a large position of the portfolio. But I mean, it's not really doing too much, but it's great news there for Apple. Wait till that hits the mainstream news. I think Apple goes moon from here. When moon? Soon, Ozan, soon. All right, what's up with the next story? Tesla.
All right, just we'll build on this story for a second, Sean. So as Neil mentioned, everything he said was accurate. I'll just add a little bit more onto that. So the LLM they're going to be using is going to have 1.2 trillion parameters from Google. Of course, the partnership marks a dramatic shift. Apple will rely on Google's AI infrastructure for core Siri features after years of struggling, of course, to compete with ChatGPT. The $1 billion payment adds to the estimated $20 billion Apple already pays Google for Safari default search. It's the other way around, actually, cementing one of the tech's most lucrative partnerships despite direct competition. Apple has fallen behind, as we know, in the AI race with Tim Cook, previously announcing that ChatGPT integration would be included. Mine uses ChatGPT, of course, now doubling down on Google's features. The deal underscores big tech's AI consolidation. Companies with frontier models like Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, they license to hardware makers lacking comparable capabilities. So Apple prioritizing user experience over proprietary development, says this article. More on that when I do have it. Let's go on to Tesla, though. The second name here, the best performing Mag 7 name on the day, up 3 3/4%. It's a big day tomorrow, guys. 3 p.m. Central Time, Tesla shareholder meeting, the event there is going to be the vote on Elon Musk's eye-watering $1 trillion pay package. The market liking Tesla today, 464.77 high.
Yes, I was actually just looking at Apple because if it can come all the way back to where this story started, I find it hard to believe that it's going to get too far underneath. So as it's kind of dipping back in, I'm going to look for it's about 270 in here, and then 269.25 would be the low. So I'm just going to look for. I'm not going to automatically buy it. I don't think I want to go that way, like just sit on the bid because VWAP's way underneath. But I think if it bounces anywhere near there, I want to take a shot at that. As far as Tesla goes, look, the vote tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. My gut tells me that the shareholders probably affirm this.
Yeah.
I feel as if the risk would be if it doesn't happen, it'll come as a surprise, and then all this support that we've had off this 440, we could be revisiting that and potentially breaking it. But I think we take that as it comes tomorrow. Tesla, much like a lot of other things, went absolutely ham. But here's what Tesla looks like from the bottom. And I'm looking at AMD on a similar trend break. I'm going to take AMD, which we'll get to later on a trend break. But Tesla just pulled back heavily off that resistance been at 466. And it needs to bounce off that trend line because it looks a little bit toppish up here. Again, my only concern tomorrow is on the off chance that they actually were to vote it down. I think it's going to pass, but you could be surprised. And if we're surprised, lower. I don't even know what that sound was.
I
don't even know what that was.
I've been saying to you, like, I have a headache. I started the show. Then now all of a sudden, it's like, I was like going crazy over there. Oh my God, Russell, I thought we were friends. That's right. Yeah, okay. What were we talking about again? Oh, Tesla, yeah. Look, I think that for sure gets, I just bought some more Apple in my long-term account. I just bought more. This is exactly what I was waiting for, so I just bought more. Oh, Trump is talking right now about crypto. So he just said he wants to end the war on crypto is what he said. So he wants to make USDC the something of the world, coin of the world, I guess, and Bitcoin the superpower. I don't know. We'll get this exactly when it's happening right now, but he's talking crypto right now, President Trump. So he must have just bought that dip. I mean, that would make sense, right? He must have. So we'll have to wait to see what's going on there, but there goes IBIT. Let me see if it's the same sort of thing here with Ethereum as well. I'm just hearing it in my ear from Benzinga. So yeah, Ethereum up 8%. Oh boy. Yeah, I would say that these guys probably bought some of that. I saw Ripple up as well right now. Jesus Christ, leave that duck alone over there. Someone's dying behind us over there. But here it is right here. Everything going nuts in crypto land today, that's for sure. What a difference a day makes over here. We saw Solana yesterday at 150, today 162 up 4. This doesn't make sense. I think we're up a little bit more than this, but I guess that is what it is. Let me just refresh this. No, it's probably right. Just depends on, yeah, because it's a different 24-hour market, right? Cardano, 54 cents. We did see a low for Ripple yesterday, now to 230. So some of these names starting to go. Maybe not as juicy as I thought on that news, but all right. Let's go back over now. I think the Tesla gets approved, that vote gets stamped approved. So I think that if Tesla can get to 8 trillion, what is Tesla's current value? Right now 2 or 1.5 trillion, something like that. So, that's going to be 5-6x from here on the stock price. I think people should be happy and just take that if that happens. And if Elon Musk brings us to that level, then thank you for making us all very, very rich. You deserve $2 trillion, right? 8 trillion, a quarter of that is going to be his. All right, let's go back over.
That's what I'm saying. You go 5x from here. What do we? There's like that. That's a good problem to have.
I mean, if you don't like it, then invest in Apple or Google or Waymo. There's other opportunities. Yeah, there's other opportunities, right? I don't see that's anything wrong. But the one thing is, I don't like kind of holding hostage. Like, if this doesn't happen, then I'm going to leave. Like, I don't like all that talk, but you're allowed to do whatever you want.
Shoot, that's just you having that Tim Hortons reminded me of something. Weren't we supposed to make a bet for the protein?
Yes, we were.
What was the bet? Didn't Sean and I have a bet that
it was November?
Well, no, it wasn't. It's whether you had done Movember or not. And if Sean has ever done Movember, then he has to buy me a protein, whatever coffee
some kind of
Tim Hortons,
30 grams,
vice versa.
30 milligrams. Is it grams?
It just reminded me when I saw that coffee cup.
Yeah, this has just straight milk in it. Oh
straight
man, I'm
milk.
starting to.
Yo, you can't,
I have a dentist appointment right after this.
Bro, watch out with that straight milk, bro. That's
Yeah, one milk I take in my coffee.
Yeah.
And I have a dentist appointment after this. So all this drilling, but it's just a cleaning. So hopefully I don't have
the
to
dentist.
worry about that.
Dentist. You got the TVs and everything. I still like.
all right.
We're supposed to talk about Nvidia next.
Oh yeah, Neil and I have.
Let's see if we can't drill down what's going to happen next on Nvidia.
I'll shave my mustache if Sean grows his. Let's talk about Nvidia. I said, you talking to me or Joe? I said I'll shave my mustache if Sean grows his. No, but I won't. All right, let's talk about China banning foreign AI chips from data centers using state funds. So yeah, exactly as you just heard there, the Chinese government now requiring new data centers projects anyway that receive any state funds to only use domestically made AI chips. Now, look, the deal is if the project is more than 30% complete, they'll assess it on a case-by-case basis. But if it's less than 30% complete, you got to cancel the orders. In any event, Nvidia still up 1 1/3, guys.
Yeah, I told.
No, well, that's fail for two things. Fail for my trade on Nvidia today, but that's also a fail, Sharif. You can't say I'll do this if Sean grows a mustache, I'll shave mine, and then instantaneously back out of it.
No, I won't. No, I won't.
Like, what are we talking about?
I was just like, that's fine. I'll do that. That doesn't matter to me. I'll do that.
I had my face painted
grow a
the
mustache in
Italian flag on the
Uh-oh,
show.
Neil.
What happened?
Neil and I have a bet. I did not say.
Where? What?
Right here. Neil and I have a bet. Did I ever grow a mustache for Movember?
Oh, I lose? Really? Marissa?
And I didn't say what side I was taking.
No, it's true. It's fine. I see Marissa.
Uh-oh, she's typing again. She might remember.
Maybe there's
you
something
might
else.
be a winner at some point.
Oh,
Well, anyways. Oh, I have another story. Marissa's walking the dog today. Oh, she said, but oh my God, I would die if I would look like Tom Selleck, she said.
So that's saying that you should do it. And if you do it, Sharif has to shave his mustache. Okay, so I owe on a protein coffee now.
All right, and maybe I'll get something else too. Thanks, Marissa. All right, but, you know, Tom Selleck is the man.
I can't even. Mr. Baseball.
What was that? Didn't he have the
Smokey the Bandit?
And wasn't he in, was it him that was in that baby?
No, not
Three
Tom, no,
babies?
I'm thinking of Burt Reynolds.
3 babies and
3 men and a baby.
Three,
you know what's
three
crazy?
babies and a man? 3 men
I
and a
saw
man.
that movie in the theater as a kid.
That
Like
was a sick movie.
it's a really funny movie. It's funny and wholesome, good family movie, but it's hilarious. Also, Steve Guttenberg,
Exactly.
Ted Danson,
like a great
and Tom
cast.
Selleck. Like, it's a really good cast, absolutely hilarious. I forget who played the mother. I don't think she was that big of an actress, so it's not my fault.
It is your fault still.
Yeah, usually I'd be able to name those. Nvidia, Yeah, so I tried the long in Nvidia several times and it failed. And the last one I made the bottom wick. So if you look at the last wick, that was me today. So I'll slap the fail on it. Like, sometimes it works like this. Like yesterday, AMD was only up, and my best trade was a short AMD on a day that was an uptrend. Today, like, my worst trade is going with the trend. It's like going with the trend was my worst trade today, and like yesterday, going against the trend was my best. But sometimes the market's like that.
Yeah.
To tell you that this is gorgeous on Nvidia this is exactly where you wanted this to bounce. That's the best way to put it. And we said this with multiple names. If you dip and then pull back into the prior high and then reject that pullback into the prior high and buy it right back up, like technically that's exactly what you want out of a trend trade to the upside. However, it hasn't really regained support. Like the prior support here at 202, that hasn't been regained. It actually failed up there. So I really want this to close out and about and above 2 and then hold it so we can retest some of that high. I just don't think you're out of the water on this yet. I could be wrong. We still have other names to report here. Nvidia doesn't really follow anybody, but some sentiment's probably going to get determined as well. You have ARM tonight. That actually looks pretty bearish, to be honest with you. We talk more about that with AMD. But I'd like to see NVIDIA actually hold that 202. I'm not thinking short on this because there's a trend break possibly happening on AMD, which is, to me, more of a setup that I'm interested in. But yeah, it was a miss today. I wanted to be long NVIDIA, and I blew it. So, kind of like it happens. Sometimes you throw what you think is the right pitch. And
or sometimes you're on third base and you think you have a good lead.
I was going to say, and then Will Smith hits a home run. He's a good player.
And then,
you went to kind of for left, who will not be a Blue Jay next year.
But Shane Bieber will.
But Shane Bieber will.
I can't believe he exercised that.
The guy is taking
He must not have too
I'm
much
all of a
faith.
sudden a Shane Bieber fan. I might even get a jersey. The guy is taking way less money than he can make to come back to the Toronto Blue Jays.
I wonder if he's
It's
more
a huge
hurt
discount.
than we think. Like, because that is such a discount. $16 million?
Like after he comes out in relief in Game 7, is like, yo, my elbow's hurting. Maybe I'll exercise. Maybe I'll stay.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like that. When I saw that, Randy mentioned it to me outside.
He was projected 5 years, 70 million.
Yeah, I was like,
And he's getting 1 year, effectively 12 million.
Here you go, Shane
That's
Bieber.
a lot of money he's leaving on the table.
Hedge fund.
I'm just saying.
Oh, he has enough money. There's no doubt about
I
that.
understand. Trust me, Joe. I understand he has enough money, but at the end of the day, like there's
still gotta
enough money, and you have a family.
Pay
that
market value.
You can set up for years. Like you want to
his
take your
family,
market
his
value.
family is.
Well, I'm just saying, like.
Let's see how much he's made
It matters.
over.
He's made a good amount of money, but it does matter. It does matter.
All right, Joey Bacon is okay over there. We'll get that going. Look what's happening right now with Rivian.
Another one. Another
Just
one.
another one, Sharif, and then
Another one.
we finally went long. And there it goes. See you, Rivian. So we've been holding this one for a minute, and there it goes. A nice move to the high side now for RIVN. Still cruising right there. Man, oh man. I don't know if Randy went over there and bought a couple R1Ss or whatever, but this name now up 25%. Go, Rivian, go to the top side. I'm just going to sit on here. I'm out of half already because, yeah, that was a good move. Let's see if Rivian can continue its move higher. Yeah, good job there. Look, we've got Palantir, $6 in the money. We're happy with that. Yesterday we had AMD, I think an $8 winner or something. Let's go talk right now about Palantir and see what's going on with that name as day 2 play, man. We wrote it down, day 2 play, get long and long we are.
Yeah, multiple analyst comments today on Palantir, so let's get right down to it. HSBC raising the price target, guys. They're keeping the hold rating, but they're boosting the price target from 181 to 197. A lot more to go. Goldman also coming in. They're keeping the neutral rating as well on Palantir, but they're boosting the price target 141 to 188 as well. Citigroup boosting the price target from 190 to 210. There's more. Many analyst agencies. DA Davidson, they're keeping the neutral coverage on Palantir, but boosting the price target from 170 to 215. And then last but not least, yes, Danny Ives, our favorite analyst. He's slamming Michael Burry for betting against the Messi of AI, calling him dead wrong.
Yeah, look.
The Messi of AI, is that what I heard?
Yeah. I mean, Dan Ives, he said that a couple times before, but
I'm just glad he said Messi, not Ronaldo.
yeah, it's the Messi. So it's there could be better players, there could not be. But right there, you know, just a matter of your preference there. If you're Argentina, shout out to Argentina and all of our friends over there. But yeah, look, man, I mean, again, my new strategy is just going to be something that should always exist, and that is just patience. Like I thought I was being patient by looking for, by looking for this level, but the problem is it came in really quickly there, right off the open. Palantir's not even green yet. So it's definitely not the Messi of anything yet. We just got to wait for this to get going. But at the end of the day, I like Palantir. I think Neil made a good call there by buying some Meta, you know, at the 200 period or wherever it's at right now. Palantir, again, dip buying into the 200 or into the 50 right now is probably a great trade. 200 I think is down here, yeah, 135. I don't know if it gets down to there, but you know, into this 175 area, someone liked it and got it bought up. Unfortunately, I didn't see all the upgrades today, or I might have even gone, you know, harder than what I did. But
were those?
I didn't see them on the watch list this morning, so I should have maybe done a little bit of a deeper dive. But yeah, again, I really like Palantir, man. And we did have a great report that was not well received. And in yesterday's bloodbath led by Palantir, part of the problem there was Michael Burry over here putting on that big short on the trade, or we just heard the story from Sharif, and then also he shorted, was Palantir and Nvidia.
It was
so
just
both those stocks trying to battle back.
80% of his fund is short just those two names.
Yeah, I'd get out of that fund stat. But you know, it's just
Price.
We'll see. Palantir could work for the short. There's no, I don't think there's anything wrong with someone trying to capture some value there. And right now, Palantir looks like a good short. So yeah, congratulations to anybody that believes in that trade. I just, you know, I'm here for the long.
$1.1 billion bet on the two, and I couldn't
Good for him, man. I mean, when you believe in it, you believe in it, and
I'm not sure of the breakdown between the two. Like, I don't know if it's like, not that it matters, to be honest with you, but
right.
It's the thing I said about this yesterday was, with regards to Michael Burry, is when in the financial crisis thing, Like, he was in a trade that nobody else believed in, and everybody thought, like, he was contrarian to what almost like 99% of people thought, the point that people thought he was crazy. There's a lot of people that have been yelling bubble for a long time here. So this is, like, it's vastly different. Like, I always feel like if you're, like, the big contrarian, usually the big contrarian bets are when everyone isn't thinking the same thing. Like, when everyone stopped thinking it's a top, it's like, oh, whatever, this isn't topish, it's not pulling back. Like, I have no clue, and I don't short things anyways in my long-term account, so it doesn't really make a difference. But Palantir is going to, I always knock on wood because anything could happen in the last hour, but for now, it's going to close confirming, like Nvidia, that it can bounce off prior resistance. So that looks pretty good. It's a little bit tighter to holding that yesterday's low, which actually it's only $1 higher than yesterday's low. So it's very much, it's very much in question. I think if it breaks out 190, that's almost like a this afternoon trade. So I'll just zoom it in. Like, there's the wick high. It's actually 190.30. I could just say it on the 3-minute chart for you guys there. It's actually 190.30 if we're to break out that top. That feels like something that could happen today and play that one in today. Oh, by the way, AMD's next, so it doesn't really matter. I was going to say I got in on that trend break, but we're talking AMD next anyways. All
right, we'll go over AMD, but first we got to tell you about OGen, because each year nearly 4 million concussions are reported in the United States, and yet we all know there is no FDA-approved treatment. So we want to make sure that all of you do scan that QR code, because NYSE-listed Oragenics OGen is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access, with the concussion treatment market projected to reach $9 billion by 2027. Oragenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. So any questions or anything about concussions and treatment and all that, definitely do yourself a favor and go check them out at Oragenics. I'd like to thank them for sponsoring this segment of the show. I wish Tucker Kraft had a concussion, not an ACL.
Yeah.
In sports, it's a crazy thing. So, all right, let's go back over to the desk and find out about what Neil was talking about there with AMD.
Yeah, guys, AMD, really good report yesterday, guys, easily beating on the top and bottom line and raising their full year guidance, both for revenue and EPS, as they continue to benefit from the AI tailwind. It wasn't readily apparent, though, after the earnings release that we're going to actually be positive, aggressive sell-off yesterday in the aftermarket, being bought up today and taking out day's highs, guys. We're up 3%.
What an absolute rocket this has been. I mean, ultimately, when you have a good quarter, this earnings season, it hasn't been the best. Like, you've been selling off and then you've been holding down or taking a couple days to get back. In this particular case, it didn't take very long for AMD. It took almost no time for it to get back to where it was yesterday. Now, the only thing I will add, like, I've shorted it and I use the term getting away with it, right? Because it's an upward trend, so that much is true. And maybe we'll get away with it again. But the other thing to look at is for something about OpenDoor is watch out yesterday's afternoon or aftermarket, I should say, high, like 255.5. Like, I'm not thinking VWAP here. Like, when it broke out the top, that's where it consolidated, at the aftermarket top. So I'm thinking that's the target on this short. Not VWAP, too strong for that, 255.5. And now I'm going to double check to see what is going on with OpenDoor, because I just heard that OpenDoor in my ear. Okay, it's popping on something. Not sure why. But yeah, OpenDoor popping here on volume as well. We'll keep our ear to the ground, see what the reason is.
Yeah, I just heard that it was popping. I don't know if there's a story
maybe there's not a story
with it right now. All right, so yeah, look, I mean, for AMD, we hit it yesterday. I didn't want to do anything today with it just because of earnings, but it is definitely going to the upside and still going. Yes, Rivian, I'm long at 1570 right now. Rivian is a monster right now. Ooh, chicken with orzo tonight. Thank you, Marisa. That's a nice. There it is. Yeah, bouncing off $7 again. Yeah, I'm long Rivian right here. I just got some out in the 70s, but this is a day for them, Randy. It's just an absolute monster, up 25% right there for Rivian. So, yeah, exactly. Owed to be long. I mean, I'm long a little bit of Rivian. I don't know. Couple 100,000 shares, you know, but nice move up there, I wish, on Rivian. But yeah, good call on that one, Randy, as that continues to go a lot higher. So it might be the short, might be in. I'm going to get out if this breaks. That's 50s. So I just don't, well, where's my out right now? 39s?
This can't be true.
1548. Nothing on OpenDoor, says Sharif, which is good for me.
Wait for the drill there. ChatGPT is telling me that this, is it 25% yet? It says that the single largest day in Rivian was 24.5% on January 3rd of this year.
That's exactly what it's at right now.
So it's never done. This is the big, so this right now, according to ChatGPT, I didn't bother to look at a chart. I just kind of asked the question because that's what you do these days and you kind of trust it. But this would be the biggest day for Rivian than ever, single day gain. I find that hard to believe.
I mean, it's probably had 30 or 40% drops. As I said, it came out at 108, I believe, Rivian. But yeah, what a great day for them. And again, just the notes that we had here today on Rivian on our watch list. Just a good, generally a good quarter. Like losses still of 65 cents per share, beating the 72 cents per share that they were looking at. So that's not bad. Their sales was 1.6 billion, which was greater than the 1.5. So that's a beat there. And their automotive revenue, which is the only revenue that I know they have, I don't know what other revenue they have, grew by 47% year over year. So although they're not making any money, they are apparently on the way to doing so. So that's a good one there. Oh, they have software revenues as well. Remember they did that deal with Volkswagen.
Yes.
So maybe there's something there. Rivian continues to expect deliveries between 41.5 to 43.5 during the year. So great little upside play here for Rivian today. As I think it was,
they were wrong.
You know what I think it was more? I think it's more of just like thank God type of a thing, right? And meaning that like it wasn't as bad maybe, and now the shorts are forced to cover this play. That could be something maybe that's happening right now with Rivian. Just better than expected, shorts getting burned, 15, 16% short float. There goes Rivian to the high side. I'm stopping out if it breaks 50s.
Yeah, just a minor correction. We're done the rundown now, but Perplexity for the win, ChatGPT for the fail.
What?
I think ChatGPT, even though I did not say this year, I said ever, but that's fine. Sometimes it makes mistakes. And we should have remembered, I should have remembered this in June. I looked at the chart. I'm like, well, obviously June 25th. That was a 50% move on that Volkswagen news.
Oh, okay. What? That went 50%?
It went 50% that day. I remember there was a day it went ham, and you know there it is. So this is one of the best days ever for Rivian, but not the best day of all time. Either way, you've got to be happy if you're a shareholder. We'll find out if Lucid shareholders will be happy tonight. Unfortunately for them, they're two vastly different names. Very, very different names. It's a really busy earnings session tonight.
Oh man, it is.
Just in terms of actual raw names, it's a little bit insane.
Dara just gave us them all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, she just sent the list. We'll go over it in a minute. Just quickly, I am in SMCI. This one was downtrending. I'd slap the fail on not shorting the pop on this. The report, like, what are you gonna do? Like in this earnings season, like if you've been beating expectations, you've been getting beat down. And these guys missed. And on top of that, the only thing that was good was their guide, which I don't know how much people are going to trust that. And I looked this afternoon, I'm like, well, okay, well, if the market rolls over, like what's actually weak already? And it was this. So VWAP's one thing, but I'm shorting it to this lower high. Done it a couple times already without it breaking the low of the day. If it breaks out above the quarter, I'd wait for the volume weighted average price on this bad boy. We got a couple of super chats we need to get to.
Like those.
So let's throw them up on. Of course, it's David. Thank you again, David, for the super chat. Second guess of the day. Wall uses 8 NVIDIA RTX 6000 GPU, total of 384 gigs of VRAM. Close. I don't know. The guys.
Can we cut and paste that and just send that to Mark?
Yeah, I'm going to see if I'm literally going to do that because I would have absolutely no idea whether you're right or wrong about that.
I don't think it uses anything near those GPUs. I don't think it's anything.
I'm just going to at Mark with this.
But, yeah, ask him, man. He's hanging around. It's take your kid to work day, apparently.
Oh, I was going to. My wife took my daughter to school. I was going to
school? Oh.
Not to school, to work.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. It's not take your kid to school day. Today.
I leave way too early in the morning for it to happen. So we'll try to get the answer for you. I have no idea at all.
Yeah, we don't have an idea. We'll find out.
Oh, whoops, that's the wrong. Oh, shoot, I just typed in. I cut and paste the wrong thing. I typed a news story in there like Mark's going to care about
Mark's
that.
going to be like, okay, that's nice about Rivian. All right, guys.
Ignore the first part.
You know, I got a little bit more out there on Rivian at 60. I don't know what this really wants to do. I mean, we are going to try to find some more trades as we go. I see that in there. What's up, Sir Films a lot. I like that one. I told you my kid's trying to potentially We actually went to another great school yesterday, so I don't know, he's choosing which one.
Big decision.
Which one? Okay, so Webull. Yeah, so I don't know. I would rather buy SoFi than Webull, but you know, $10. It seems pretty choppy in here today, right now, obviously, for Webull. So I'm not really sure what the direction of trade here. I mean, considering the Nasdaq's up 1% and there's many names that are really rocking today. I don't know what SoFi's up, but I'm just always, and maybe it's only up 2%.
More than Webull.
Maybe it's not fair for me to go like, I'd rather have SoFi than Webull, but, and I know you guys are just trying to find some answers to maybe, is it a buy or a sell or whatever. Their earnings still to come, right? So they were really bad last time. I mean, Webull was on a run there, and then, you know, it's just been basically a nightmare. From $16 all the way down to 10. Like, this has lost 60% value in basically a month, actually exactly a month. This is October 1st. Pretty much we made those highs around $16. So to rewind the clock, it would have been great to get out there on Webull instead of averaging in on the way down. I recently bought like 11.30 or something like that in here, and now it's down to 9.85. So I'm just gonna sit on this one. It's not a big position or anything. I don't, maybe it's 10% of what I have in JP Morgan and SoFi and all that kind of stuff, but that's what it's there for, is there to see if we can maybe catch a big winner eventually on this, because if you do remember, SoFi and Robinhood and all of those names also had big downward pushes. Like SoFi, you know, you could be long that name $7, $8, and now it's 30, right? I mean, let alone what Robinhood's done. Robinhood was a sub $10 name for almost as long as you can think, and then it just popped right through, right? So some of those plays continue. Here's Robinhood's chart. I'll just pull up a weekly, maybe it's probably okay, because it's only going to go back to 2020, right? So look at this. This went from basically, as I look here, April of 2022 to February of 24. So 2 years basically under $10 right here for Robinhood, with its low looking like 7 or so.
Insane.
So, you know,
even if you just bought the breakout, like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, get involved, you know, in Webull if you like it, and then maybe this happens. I mean, they are not one in the same, but one in the same, and you could just wait to see if it pops, right? But you got to have patience in all of that. Like, if we had told you in February of whatever I said, 2020, when Robinhood was $10 to buy some at 10, yeah, sure, we'd be getting added, you know, like people would be adding us for, wow, it's at $7 now, nice call at 10, right? But a lot of it is about
we
time
were getting
frame.
made fun of for SoFi when it wasn't moving down, and Robinhood was. I remember that distinctly, and at the same time, like
we were making fun of ourselves.
No, I was acknowledging. I'm like, man, I kind of like. I picked the wrong one. SoFi's been absolutely fantastic, but in the back of my mind, it's like, well, I could have just bought half of one and half of the other, but you can't. You play that game too much, and you'll just drive yourself absolutely nuts. So, like, my attitude with Webull is the first time off 10 was great, depending on how you decide to. Like, I think if you could have had 60, 70%, I got about a 50% return on it based on where I get out. I don't usually get all the move, and I'm out of it because it closed underneath $10. On the daily chart, it closed under 10. If it does that same long consolidation for a month off 10 and then starts going again, then I'll just buy it again. But once it did that close under, I don't like it anymore. And like, it's just like, I treat that, like, it's like a trade. Like, to me, like SoFi, I want to hold. If I had Robinhood, I'd probably want to hold it. I don't. But the Webull, that was a trade. It was a trade off $10. It closed underneath, so I'm out of it right now. And I might take another shot at it at some point. Mark responded, and he said not even close. However, Rob can answer better from the GPU side of things. So, but I mean, if Mark says not even close, then I don't think we need to go to Rob.
No, I mean, as soon as I said not even close, I thought that was, it's not that powerful. It's not, there's nothing like that in it. Yeah, good look there. Thanks.
Oh, wait, another one.
For that.
Keely Deely. I tried to tell you all about
David.
OpenDoor yesterday. What's your thoughts today on the earnings tomorrow?
I tried to tell you.
Okay, I'm 95% sure I did mention specifically about OpenDoor that I don't have any fundamental thoughts about the earnings. I just don't. You know, and then I remember I even said, heck, I would love to have Eric Johnson on the program so he could explain the case.
One of those guys.
Explain it to me. Give me the thesis, because I feel like this is going to, regardless of what the report is, regardless of what the fundamentals are, I feel like I'm going to take a swing trade in this if it breaks this channel out tomorrow. So if I happen to also like it for fundamental reasons, that'd be even better. But I just don't have an opinion. I know that there's a potential squeeze, and I know it has a call following, and it's got a pretty decent reversal setup going the day before earnings that I'd like to be a part of if it breaks after earnings. So that's the extent to my analysis there. I don't plan on, if I get into it, I'll probably hold it for a short period of time and then get out and take some profit and wish everyone else the best of luck when it comes to OpenDoor. But I'd love to hear a fantastic case on it. From a more fundamental case, and at least at these prices, from Mr. Jackson. Did I say Johnson?
You did.
Yeah, it's Jackson.
It's Jackson. Sorry, Mr. Jackson. I am for real. But is OpenDoor for real? That's the question that we all are wondering. Okay, so yeah, good little look there on OpenDoor. I mean, again, ahead of earnings. And I think Neil is right again about all of that. You know, you just want to be careful ahead of earnings when you're trading any of these names realistically, right? I mean, we have no idea what these earnings calls are going to be like. I mean, we had Palantir with a great call, tank. We had AMD yesterday, tank on the call, rip today in the open market. So it's just a push and pull kind of a situation when you're talking about stocks off earnings, right? So just be careful with that. But you guys are a smart environment over here, a bunch of smart traders. So I'm sure you are well aware of all of those. All right, what's up, Adair?
Trump just finished his speech, guys. Trump is no longer speaking in Miami at the America Business Forum. He left the stage dancing to YMCA, and no, I am not joking. But yeah, his speech is done, so no more Trump speech today. He's not scheduled to speak later today either, at least certainly not during market hours. I believe the rest of his schedule now is just him traveling back to the White House, guys. Back to you.
MC.
Speaking at the Y. Holla.
YMCA.
Okay, that makes lots of sense. Just very quickly, third time not a charm in SMCI. So now I'll wait for the volume weighted average price, which is at least 1.5% higher. So it needs to get back up to 43.8 to take another shot at that. So it's just this in AMD. AMD held, so it broke the trend line, I don't know, like 10 minutes ago? Yeah, 20 minutes ago. Got in, was able to get more as it consolidated off the top. It's holding this range between 257 and 258.5, at least for now. So scalps them out at the bottom of the range. Don't know if I'll reload a third time. My rule of thumb is, like, these should work right away, which means, okay, great, it worked right away, then it held the range right away. I don't need this breaking out the top. I'm not going to reload it a third time. I want it breaking down and giving me that 255.5 next target on this bad boy. So that's the plan of action for AMD. Let us know what else you guys are looking at, because I want to do a refresh of this. When I say refresh, I'm going to restart.
Get us up.
I'm going to restart the visualizer here. And remember, eventually you'll just be able to see this. Like, I won't have to do this. I'll just move my head or do that shot, and maybe we'll be able to put this on that screen for you.
Yeah.
So type $sign in whatever you're interested in. I'll just say hood, because why not? They report earnings tonight. Probably I think Hood's probably the most actively traded or owned name that's going to report tonight. I have a stake in ARM, so I probably care solely about ARM. I could have typed that one in there. But Hood, Oklo,
Oklo.
Strive. What? 22%. Oh, it's a dollar stock. That's right. I'm like, Strive, 22%. Oklo on the list. So I'm going to go quickly look at Oklo. Is it doing it's doing things today. Like a lot of other, if you got beat up yesterday and you were like one of those growthier, frothier names, if you didn't have some kind of a V-shaped recovery today, then you should be concerned. That's why, to me, SMCI, you should be concerned with it, because it didn't bounce today. Almost everything that's been beaten up caught a nice bounce, and Oklo happened to go all the way V-shape and is now rejecting the top. You don't always love that, but a good look for them. Always makes me want to look at SMR just out of morbid curiosity for myself, because I'm not selling my last third of it. The plan is to let this one ride. You know, I'm willing for, I think I'm in at like 13 or something, and it's like the only place that I bought. I'm kind of willing for this to go all the way back on the final third And if that's the case, that's the case. But I'm going to leave that one in there. This actually could break trend. But you know what? Just because I'm saying that in the long term, if it breaks this trend support on the daily, then I'm probably coming in. Like, I think it's a short in the day trade for sure, at least for a couple of days. And it could still do it. Again, not out of the, just because you bounce one day doesn't mean you're out of the water.
We were lucky enough to get out of that one 57. Before we go over to Adara, I just want to show everybody Rivian. I just got a 75 fill there, right? So I'm always going to wait at these quarters. So we just grabbed it. I mean, hopefully it comes back up. We also got a 70, then a 75. So we'll see if it can continue to mature up and see if we get that 30% or so there today. I don't know if it has a run to 16 or not, but what's going on over there, Adara?
Just be aware here, guys. BMY on watch. Bristol Myers Squibb pricing 5 billion euro here worth of senior unsecured notes. So some note, I guess, pricing here for BMY. Keep an eye on Bristol Myers Squibb. Pretty strong on the day otherwise, guys. Back to you.
Here's Ozan right here. Look what he says right here. What's up, Ozan? We finally see this man's face. Pulling a Sharif. There it is, man. That's close enough, Ozan.
Yep.
You look exactly like Sharif, actually, right there. So shout out to you, my guy.
It.
And for you, Ozan.
Make him shave it.
But this is me, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, what?
Because
it does look like you.
Because I tweeted out a picture when I got my eyes done. And I was just going to say, Ozan, looks like you're rolling around in a Tesla.
Why do you have a fake mustache?
No, because he AI'd this.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, this is me in my car, right here, with my hat. I have the jacket right there with the red. So yeah,
you know if it's you.
Yeah, this is me. All right, Ozan, you got it, but there it is right there. So it's because I was gonna grow a mustache. I get it.
Now I can win the bet?
That's
it's
great,
real,
Ozan.
I won the bet.
Yeah. But no, this is before November,
I know.
Before November. But yeah, that's funny times, Ozan. So you guys make sure you continue to at me over there on Twitter, and we'll continue to have some fun. But thanks, Ozan. That was a lot of fun to see that. So you got me there. I was like, oh, there we go. Now we finally see who Ozan is. And then nope, it was
is
just
that Ramin in the chat, or is that Fabian?
It says at Trader TV Live or something like that.
It says Trader TV Live. Never grow a mustache, Sean.
Never?
Never.
That's it. Tomorrow, potentially.
No, but
mustache.
Sharif has to shave his mustache if you grow one. I actually think that that's just worth it for everybody, for everybody you should do it, and that way Sharif can shave the mustache. Right?
But Sharif said he has no integrity. Remember, we already said that. We already called him up.
No,
he said yes, and then he said no immediately.
You know what the funny thing about it is? Peer pressure.
Not that he doesn't have any, but we
peer pressure is a Mitch. And at the end of the day, that's...
I mean, the chat did vote for you to grow a mustache.
Look, and here's the thing: if I had ever agreed, like if I had agreed to that poll, or it had been my idea, then I would 100% do it. But I didn't. Like, there was
that was your idea about me and Sharif with the mustache.
Yeah, like there was no bet involved. Like, if you guys want to come up with something crazy that is worthy of me, if there's like a bet or some kind of a challenge, or like,
what if we got $1,000 and we donated it? And then
100%.
both you and I.
Yeah, if we do a charity thing, 100% I'm down with that. But I'm not just doing it because you say to do it. Come on, man.
No,
I'm just going to do it because people...
You're the one that told me to do it. I don't know. You're kind of defending your own thing here.
No, because I want to see Sharif shave his mustache.
Right, but then you're telling him to do it again.
Exactly. Right. Peer pressure is, what.
Yeah, anyways.
No, but seriously, if we ever did something like that,
there goes Rivian.
It's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I know. I think we should. I mean, that's the whole point of Movember, right? That's what you and I were talking about earlier. So I think that's a charitable
And for everyone out there, most of the reason, like, I personally don't care. My daughter really doesn't. She just doesn't like facial hair on me. Like, if we go camping for a week, and the second we get home, she's like, "You're shaving, right? Get rid of that on your face."
Yeah, but if you told her it was for charity,
she'd be she'd be fine with it, and it would just be worth it. But because I don't care and my daughter does, what do you think is going to happen? It's not even that's not a contest. Like, what would you say? She's right now in my wife's office. What's hilarious about this? This looks like it's actually work. It's not. Like, when I zoomed in on it, it's like some survey, like, what is your favorite color? So I'm like, what is going on at your office?
Stuff off,
yeah, she just prints some stuff off and worksheets for them to go through. Nice. There's a few other pictures, but it involves some of the other kids. So I'm like, I'm not gonna out some other kids in the office. But
get them to work.
It's like take your kid to work day, which one of these days I want to do. I just leave way too early. I have to like not leave so early in the morning, and then make it happen. Because it's like I'm not trying to make her wake up with me. Like that would just be cruel and unusual for her.
All right. Okay, so, we were talking about Rivian. So Rivian came back up. We actually got another 70. I was waiting at 75. Unfortunately, did not get hit at 75. So for right now, we're just going to have to wait and hope that trade can come in for us there. But that's what I'm going to wait for. And I said that maybe on the March to 16 or whatever, we could get out. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for right now, is a nice trade to happen on Rivian, which you already have the long. We were short into there once it broke. Oh, we were short earlier today too. This was quick. This was on the first show from 10 o'clock. We hit that short at 14 because 14 was right here. When it started to pop through there, I just did not have the, I guess, hindsight, foresight to predict that kind of a move was going to happen. So at the end of the day, I can see that this is a trend period right here, the 50-period moving average, and it was just riding it the whole way. So like once I was short up here and getting out and noticing that it just kept on bouncing off the 50-period moving average, I decided to go long. So that's where we went long now. We're long, oh, you can see we're long at 48, so right into here. That's 44 plus some of those. So 48s right now, long up into 70s, so a good trade there. For everybody, hopefully, on Rivian, if you have it, and if you have it, then maybe there's some more hype in it. Okay, Palantir gets to 189.50, man. I was waiting at 190, so we came pretty close to getting out. So silly me. We'll have to wait to see now if we can get back into 190. That's 189.50. Let's just put an offer at 189.50 on Palantir, and then hopefully be able to capture that if indeed it goes back to the upside. Don't know if that's going to happen. We only have, like we said, 2-3% left of this trade. Very, very small position left on Mr. Rivian, or on Palantir. So we'll wait to see if we can get that fill, but that's the only thing that I'm working with right now. You know, we did talk a little bit about SoFi. I bought some more Apple in my long-term account. Right when I heard about that announcement, it looks like it's pretty flat. It does go up. Probably got filled around here, 270.50. Look, that story might be absolutely nothing, right? That whole
that's not nothing.
No, but I'm just surprised, like, because I just thought that would have been. I didn't even really see it on Benzinga.
The one thing about that story was
even Google.
It said at some point in 2026. Like, there's no timeline necessarily. Like, it could end up being at the end of the year, and then what if it gets pushed back? If 2026, that could literally mean next quarter, or it could mean a year from now. Yeah. So it's a little bit ambiguous, but I would venture to say that a vast improvement with the AI functionality by partnering with Google for a cheap price is going to be good for them. It's just the market might be like, well, when is this happening? And so we can actually price it in. And if they don't know, then they don't know. We're going to go to Adair in a quick little second, but we had my...
You don't know, Daniel.
The prior, and I can already see the super chat out of the corner of my eye, and I just saw the word mustache, so I'm kind of...
I only see the word Neil, so I'm...
Yeah, I saw Neil and mustache, and I'm going to say, so I got out on AMD. It'll end up being a flat trade because I was able to get some out, and then I was breaking the high. And now I'm just going to change the subject again by saying Peloton is moving.
Yep.
Or what's the super chat?
I am hearing that.
Mustache challenge. I knew it was going to be a mustache challenge. Whatever the news was on Peloton, it immediately failed its breakout.
Holy
Check
shit.
that out. This community is amazing because it is all ages, experience levels, niches, and above all, it's real. We learn and educate to gain an advantage. Get Sharif to shave his for another $100. Donate this super chat to charity, please. Oh, so
Sharif won't.
Oh, that's a Sharif thing. Yeah, like, you know, it's at the end of the day, like when it comes to that, like I can't promise you. Like I can ask him if he wants to do it.
Just ask him. We can ask him tomorrow.
Yeah, and if he's willing to do it, then that's up to him. You know, I always just say jokingly for myself, if we ever make a bet or a challenge and we say it on there, like I'll just do it for fun. I don't really take myself too seriously with regard to that. And certainly, giving to charity, certainly,
yeah,
no issues.
That we had
no issues with that for sure. Like, you know, Trader TV has sponsored charities before, whether it's food drive, whatever it might be. So we're 100% down with that. I'm trying to I was trying to figure out whatever this news was for Peloton. There might not have been, but there was a pretty big volume spike here. It wasn't doing anything all day except kind of grinding up with the market. But it looks like it's already coming back in, and I don't have the story on the wire. I just heard the name and a bit of a move.
What, Tesla?
No, Peloton.
Peloton.
stock
There was something about Tesla happening right now too.
Peloton's-
Let's go find out from
Peloton's
Madero
doing
what's
it.
up.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know we have our implied moves calendar for the post-market earnings names. That's just been posted, and there are a whopping 17 names on this visual with their implied moves. A lot of these implied moves are in the double digits. There's only a handful that aren't. Smallest implied move here is Qualcomm, 6%. Largest implied move, as it often is, actually belongs to Duolingo with a more than 17% implied move. Check out this infographic on X at TTV Research. And again, I'll have a pre-market implied earnings move infographic for tomorrow that'll be coming out shortly as well. Back to you.
I have some, my daughter loves Duolingo, but they have chess now.
Oh, really?
Duolingo.
Is that good?
It was at first, but like the more that she does it, because she's actually really getting into it, but the
Okay.
more that she does it, what I found is it helped her with her French. She's in French immersion, and it really helped her with her French. It's kind of okay for math. I feel like if your kids do the Duolingo math, like whatever grade they're in, and then the grades that they say, like trust me, you'll be doing higher level than what they say the grades are, which is fine. But she's not really learning chess, and that just kind of at first the basics of how everything moves is fine, and it does that. When it comes to actually teaching some way, like any manner of which that you would actually play the game, it sort of fails. But that's just me. I learned by getting my butt whipped by my older brother for years, and that's how I got good at chess. I literally had to sit there and play and watch him crush me a bunch of times, and I would see what he did and why I would lose, and I would sort of get better over and over again. And then I always like to say ended with, and then I beat him in high school in chess club and retired at that moment from chess because that was all I needed. Apple is right back into VWAP here on that Google partnership. So I'm going to look to get long off. It didn't actually bounce off VWAP. It actually bounced here at 269.5-ish. But I'm going to see if we can't get this long. It just feels like this is good news. So why is it going all the way to the downside? Seems like a good story to me.
Yeah, I mean, the market is also heading higher, which is a nervous
That's another
point to that trade, right? I mean, Tesla, though, is not having any problems with this current market, now at 466 and getting higher and higher. Remember, its all-time high is 488 or 490 and change, and it's going to probably get that tomorrow. I mean, when this vote finally goes through and passes, I mean, this must just be the ramp up, right? I mean, they're thinking that this is going to go. Looks like it probably is. There goes Tesla right now, just up 5% and continuing higher. So again, congratulations to everybody that's sort of been on this Tesla bandwagon here over the last little while. It looks like it's going to break even higher. And I mean, look, Rivian's obviously having themselves a day, but it's Tesla right now that continues to climb. And Rivian also, I mean, we're long Rivian, which has been fantastic, but we're waiting for that to happen. And yeah, good point about Apple. I mean, Google also the winner, right? I mean, if you're going to use
them too, yeah, but it's not that much money, so it's a bigger deal for Apple.
No, but I think it's a great deal for Apple. But I mean, at least it gives the large language model of Google, their Gemini, room to breathe, and more people will be using Gemini and talking about it like we are, and that's only good for Google, right? I mean, there's going to be multiple winners in this space, but trust me, whatever application gets installed into Apple's user base, that's the winner. I don't care if you don't like the way Gemini works or you like ChatGPT better. It's not gonna matter. Gemini will be the one that takes over the world, and it's just that install base is just so huge. Now, if it's a POS and it's not working properly, I'm sure Apple can get away from it and do a deal with somebody else. But at the end of the day, we'll wait for more details.
They're all good. I've found, and actually I think it was Sharif that mentioned this to me first, and I have to confirm this to kind of be true. Specifically Perplexity and ChatGPT, if the question is remotely finance related, which a lot of the stuff that I might ask during the show is, then Perplexity is just better. And I found that ChatGPT, like just now, when I asked that question about the best day Rivian has had, that's not very difficult for it to figure out. And Perplexity got it right, and ChatGPT got it wrong. Right. And I think they're all pretty good, but ultimately, I use the one that's the most convenient 99 times out of 100. That's not the right stop. And that'll be, where am I right now when I'm using it? If I'm at the office, those are the ones I just happen to have open. Like I always have Perplexity and ChatGPT. It was always ChatGPT, and then Sharif said that about Perplexity. Those are the two I have at the office. If I'm on my phone on the train and I'm chatting with my buddies in a pool or something, then there's a decent chance I will literally just use Meta.
That's a convenience thing.
Because it's a convenience thing. I'm right there. If I'm surfing X, then I'm using Grok. So to your point, that's exactly why this is huge for Apple. Because if the easiest thing that they're just engaged with the most ends up being Gemini, then Gemini is the one that gets a ton of use. And of course, the more it gets used, the better and the smarter that it is. It's just about how many people are using it. But from a convenience standpoint, I feel like it almost, like there's no huge advantage right now for anybody. At least from my usage, and my dad says exactly the same thing. It's like he just uses whichever one is convenient. It's like I might have like access to all of them, but which one I use on a given day, it could be any of them. So anybody could win.
Yep.
And simply, I think this is an advantage for Apple.
And no man can cross it.
So long as it works. Nobody can cross it.
Although couldn't cross it.
That video takes a different context with the recent hurricane.
Oh man.
Yeah, because it actually happened again.
Yeah, actually, I feel very, look, I mean, no one can feel good about, obviously, what happened over there, but according...
It could have been worse.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Like, we talked to Joe there and his family, thank God, is okay, and he sort of confirmed that there yesterday, so that was great to hear. We hope everybody in Jamaica and so on and so forth was able to, you know, handle that storm pretty bad.
Mother Nature doesn't play, and that's the reality.
That is for sure.
In Canada, we take it for granted here. We don't have anything when it comes to real natural disasters.
Like, we had that one
one crazy ice storm. Yeah. But I mean, if the worst of our problems are like an ice storm, it wasn't that bad.
No, well, we're pretty much land. Like, I know we're not landlocked, but like where we are here, we have Lake Ontario. Which is not going to create any, I mean, obviously the world will eventually all be flooded, right? But at some point...
well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I don't know.
The world's not flooding, man.
No, but people just say, like, you have a property in Miami, you have a property, you know, anywhere on any kind of a coast. At some point, I don't know, I'm not, you know, science is science.
Well, we have another super chat. Longness with the super chat.
Thank you, Longness.
See who gets to it fast. Ha ha ha! This time I got it, Andre.
Ha ha, Andre.
See, I can't use it. I've heard ride your winners and sell your losers, but I have a max percentage of my portfolio above which I sell the overage, and I buy more of the losers if I still believe the story. Thoughts? Do what works for you and don't worry about platitudes from others. If you are very, very good at picking bottoms, or buying fundamental things that the market's got wrong, like that's your shtick, then so what? From a general standpoint, obviously that whole sentiment, like it makes sense, and there is a truth to that, right? Like, you know, you should have your winners be big and your losers be small. But if something different works for you, make sure that's actually true, then there's nothing wrong with that. But I would say that in a general sense, like if the worst performing stocks that you have, you're constantly buying more of, and you're never letting your runners go, that seems to be a bit of a trouble. Like, I'll give you an example. And look, this is not going to be Apple. I'm showing you Apple, because if it stops underneath that $0.50, then I'm wrong about how they're going to price this. I kind of felt if it got to the bottom here, it'll bottom out where it was before and catch some support. I could be wrong about that, but it wasn't Apple that I was using for that example. Like, the example I would use is, I just recently got into Lululemon, right? Now, it's not, I just got into it, so I can't say it's badly performing, but let's imagine that I was buying into it, and like everything else, like Nvidia is at highs, and all the other stuff in my portfolio is at highs. Like, if I was just selling all of that stuff and not letting it go to continuously buy more of Lululemon, I don't think that's necessarily the smartest move. But if I look back at my performance and all of my best performance was buying things that were depressed, then I would think differently about that. I'd be like, that's my strength, so I'm going to do more of that. And if I was never really good at holding, not getting rinsed at the top, like every time that I didn't sell, like this kind of a thing would happen, then maybe I would consider not trying to hit home runs on my winning trades. But you've got to do what works for you, not because someone else quoted it somewhere, even if it's a smart sounding quote. Adair?
A lot of comments being circulated right now, mostly by Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg, from OpenAI CFO Sarah Friar. Now, again, this isn't necessarily going to be market moving because OpenAI is not public, though you could look at Microsoft, but actually, whether or not OpenAI is public is part of this story. According to a Wall Street Journal interview, which seems like it was initially published an hour ago and then just republished by Wall Street Journal 3 minutes ago, OpenAI CFO Sarah Friar said the company is not yet preparing for an IPO. So again, the CFO of OpenAI saying that right now the company's not looking to go public, contradicting some opinions that were suggesting the opposite that we've seen in recent weeks. It's also worth noting that she said that to Bloomberg that she doesn't actually think there's enough exuberance around AI. So Sarah Fryer basically saying that there's actually less enthusiasm around AI rather than more, which is the narrative we've seen a lot of here. Interesting look here. Again, commentary coming through from Sarah Fryer. Those are the main 2 points I wanted to make. That A, she doesn't think there's a bubble because she thinks there should actually be more enthusiasm around AI. And then B, of course, that there's not going to be the IPO right now, or at least the company has not prepared for one as of yet. Back to you.
All right, I'm getting out some more Rivian right here.
Navin was bad. That's
Yeah, Navin was a bad one.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, we were talking about, you have it up there. I mean, we could check out what StubHub is doing.
We're talking about IPOs. Like,
IPOs.
we're supposed to get a few more this year. It's just not happening.
Ooh, StubHub back up.
Disappointing IPO market.
StubHub could hit that $20 marker again at some point. Nice move up to 18 and change right there. There's 20. It's bounced off of 20 a bunch of times. So yeah, right now in risk of breaking lower there is the hub of stubs. So just get ready if that breaks lower. That could be a great trade as well, especially in a market where everything's kind of falling apart.
I have feelings about StubHub and SeatGeek.
Don't we have...
When you use StubHub and SeatGeek, which for the playoffs is what we were using to sell our extra seats to all the rounds of the playoffs, you begin to realize I'm a free market guy. However, I do think that at a certain point, like the service that they provide doesn't get exponentially better because the ticket price is higher. You know, like
oh no, it's the same.
Yeah, like the amount that they're
That's
taking,
why it's so good though. It's the same work that they
It's
did.
a great business for them,
right?
But like the amount that they were taking on both ends when we were selling our extra seats for the World Series was disgusting. To the point that I was offering people, I'm like, look, I'll tell you right now,
you take cash and just
if we cut them out of it, I go, this is what they're going to take on both ends of it. And to everyone I know, I was like, if you were willing, I wouldn't pay this because I think it's ridiculous. But if you're willing to pay a grip, this will be way better than if you got it online.
Right, it's better than doing stuff.
It is better because they take it on both sides of the transaction. Anyways, Michael, I love the way you spell your last name. Scalping strategies for crypto, your take now.
Scalping strategies?
Scalping strategies for crypto. But how is that different from scalping strategies for anything else? Because I didn't trade IBIT today. I traded IBIT yesterday. I didn't really trade it today. Like I don't treat this any differently technically from anything else. The real difference is if you're swing trading it, it's a 24-hour market. If you're actually doing it in real crypto and not like an ETF. Like to me, that's the big difference. Otherwise, technicals are technicals as far as I'm concerned. I use trend breaks and support and resistance the same way I'd use them anywhere else. So I'm not sure a better way to answer your question other than I don't treat it any differently. These are charts, price action, and that's what I live and die by. That said, remember it's a 24-hour market. Sometimes the best moves are going to happen on weekends. That's at least historically been true. So, you know, if you solely look at crypto, you probably don't want to be trading the ETFs like we do here. But we trade here during market hours, and our accounts have, you know, like USD equity buying power. So I'm going to trade IBIT. If I was a crypto trader only, I would probably suggest you do something else because you'd have more opportunities out there. But just treat it like anything else. Its price action is always going to be key. Ball is in line. The price action, not fundamentals. Like I keep thinking that Apple should go up. It just went to 270 again and rejected, so it's holding this range only for now. And then if it breaks VWAP, suddenly it's going to be lower and trading down in an up market on what I thought was good news. Who knew?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, you know, a good strategy to do if you're trying to scalp crypto is try to find the one that's leading, right? So you just want to make sure that you trade, you know, if Ripple, XRP is really hot, then I'd go over there and scalp that to the long side, you know, if we're talking long or, you know, that to me, what I've seen is a big difference is like, you know, Bitcoin might be running, but something else won't be. So you want to just make sure that you're looking where everybody else is looking. You know, that's something that what I've been noticing with obviously all of these plays is sometimes you look over and it's like, oh, wow, you know, this particular coin is running it, wow, this one isn't, and vice versa. So I think just stay with the winners and play momentum. Like that's the biggest thing. For crypto, in my opinion, is like you don't have to look at Bitcoin if it's not really moving because maybe you know the machines have been turned on Solana or something. have a look there and try to play the most aggressive names. That's for crypto. That's what I would do. And then trade Bitcoin maybe like an ETF. Like if that's really tanking and you're biased to the short on whatever you're trading, you're probably going to be right. So that's something that I would look forward to doing if I were you guys scalping that market. Oh, by the way, we missed it. We're too busy talking about other stuff. But there's the big trade, man. Like we just got 189.50. It fell back. This was at 3 o'clock. This was 15 minutes ago when it went up there. Remember, we said we were sitting there. We put the order in. We showed you guys. And there it goes right now. Nice trade here on Palantir to the upside. And then honestly, hit it again, man. Nice trade right now for Rivian, as that is trying to break higher into the high. Oh, I should get out. I didn't. Sometimes you just zoom in and you're like, wait a second, what have I done? All right, let's offer something out here at 82. It doesn't look like, oh, look, there it is. We just got it. So that's going to be a good fill right there. Yeah, 1580 and change right here. Good trade there for Rivian. Good trade for Palantir here into the close. So, okay, Apple breaks through 270, so that's a good one. I did want to look to see what Google was doing because the market's kind of falling back in here, but I really like to trade strong names. Like Google's bouncing nicely right now, trying to get back up. This could be a good break area too, 284.20s. As we just talked about crypto playing strong names, what about playing strong name here? Google doubling the market so far here today. So that could be a great little play to try to get back some of your day or whatever, or just play some momentum. The high side on Google, there it goes. A nice move as the future's now 1.13%, almost as if yesterday didn't happen, right? I mean, yesterday we were down 2%. Obviously, there's going to be still some depressed assets off that, but a lot of these names are right back, right? Look at Google on the daily. We obviously have Meta that's bouncing today quite nicely, pretty good, 2%, right? Covering up yesterday easily, right there. Meta, another strong name, maybe Amazon that had a great report, and then yeah, they're up nicely today too. It looks like. Well, now they're all the way down. So they were up to 251 and change. So this one might be a play, not catching up is Amazon. Good quarter, good deal with OpenAI. Yeah, this could be one that eventually gets back up to the highs. But I think it's Google that has that 300 pin to it. We got close enough to that on earnings right there. Looks like we ticked up to 295 or so, and then right back down. So I have a feeling that this one eventually gets back up into $300. So I do like Google. Yeah, we are a little savage on Palantir today, but hey, man, we like the name, we like the stock, we got the hat here, and it's been a good one. Yay for Palantir today, that's for sure, as it's all the way back up. Still not green on the day, so that one. And then the big name tonight that there's going to be a lot of trader interest in is going to be Robinhood. I mean, there's a lot of names. Adara has that great graphic. Qualcomm, Duolingo, Lyft, ARM, Hood, AppLovin,
IonQ,
Bros, IonQ, Figma, DoorDash, Joby, Elf, Fortinet, Lucid, Snap, AMC. I mean, it doesn't stop here tonight.
You know what?
What's up, Adara?
Can we just like stick a fork in AMC?
Well, I think that's forks already. I think that's like overdone. Like I don't know how you like.
I'm not even sure it should make the list anymore.
Yeah, the prior move was 10% though.
Okay, well, it's fine. It moved 10%, but what is it, $1? Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Robinhood infographic here ahead of their earnings report. I have a whole bunch of these. I've been making at least a couple for each night of earnings this week. I also have ones for Snapchat for tonight. I have one for AppLovin for tonight. And I have one for Lucid for tonight as well, featuring their global brand ambassador, Timothée Chalamet. So if you do want earnings content, I would absolutely say TTV Research on X is the place to go. For tomorrow, I've already prepared and pre-scheduled on X infographics for OpenDoor and DraftKings ahead of earnings, currently working on one for XYZ. So again, if you want to know what we are expecting from these earnings reports, X and TTV Research, your one-stop shop. Back to you.
I don't really know who Timothée Chalamet is, or whatever. Chalamet, is it? Or Charlemagne?
Okay, but you're not a science fiction guy.
This man was twice in the running to become the youngest man to win Best Actor in the history of the Academy. Twice. He was the youngest man to be nominated for Best Actor in 80 years. And now I'm going to sign off because I'll start.
So he lost. So he didn't win twice.
Well, he lost twice, but it was still his first nomination was record-breaking.
But for what two movies was it?
First one, 2018, it was for Call Me By Your Name in the role of Elio Perlman. And the second time he played Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown. Right. Statistically, he was incredibly likely to win because it was a biopic, but then he lost.
Right. I do remember him. He's also Mobb Deep. Did you just?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously
I
I know
watched
that
Dune.
I'm a science fiction guy, so I know him from Dune.
I'm just saying I barely know who he is. Not that he's
No,
not talented.
Dune's
I could have
huge, and
listed none of those.
I thought he was really good in Dune.
He was the Bob Dylan guy. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, maybe he got some, maybe he didn't. The biggest snub of all time in Oscar history, I'm going to just throw it out there, was Denzel Washington in Cry Freedom, but that's just me.
Let me guess, he played Denzel Washington? I feel like that's what he plays in all of his roles.
He was Nelson Mandela in Cry. No, it was Steve Biko in that one. But anyways, doesn't really matter. What I find about that, and this is just completely off topic, finally Apple's going, is that oftentimes it's like this whole, like, you have to pay your dues, because you look at when some people actually won, and then the amount of times that they should have won.
100%.
Like when Denzel, by the time Denzel actually won, it's like he should have won for this, he should have won for that, and then he finally gets the nod.
Yeah, he gets like the worst one probably, right?
Well, I don't know if I wouldn't go that far, but it's just.
What about Training Day?
It's like paying. It's like the whole pay your dues. Yeah, but by that time, it's like the dude should have won 3 times, in my opinion, before then. But
it's like what they do. They do that with the Emmys a lot. They go like. It's like if the show hasn't been, like, shows will just go on runs where it's like it's now time for like The Office to win every single Emmy, or maybe that's a bad example, but other shows where all of a sudden just this show just sweeps it, you know, even though they're in like season 5 or something.
Exactly.
Like that. What's up, Adara?
Oh yeah, sorry guys, I want to mention here, TVGN, massive pop to the upside. This is a penny stock right now, trading around 60 cents, reporting major clinical milestone and expanding HLA coverage of its investigative precision T-cell therapy. So positive news here for their long COVID treatment for TVGN. Keep an eye as well here on SIRI, that would be Sirius XM. They did have a catalyst from going back maybe about 10 minutes now with Netflix. NFLX approaching Sirius, reportedly anyway, for video podcast licensing. We know that Netflix already has something in the works with Spotify. Reportedly, they're trying to make a deal here with Sirius XM as well for video podcast licensing. So these tickers are SIRI and TVGN. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adair. So
Siri has a good
need some follow through here. 270 still has a seller in front of it on Apple. It just bounced off VWAP in here. So the $0.50 has held, VWAP is held, but you need to break out through 70. Like 270 doesn't have a lot of size on it, but it got rejected the first, second, and third times. Okay, actually the first and second time. This one was actually at 93, but you know what I mean. It's 3 times it's tried to battle since the pullback, and it hasn't been able to break through. I want it breaking through, getting to that next $0.50. And thank you in the chat for reminding me. I didn't know Timothée Chalamet was, well, I didn't remember that he was in Interstellar. Possibly because I really hated that character, but then part of it, if you don't remember an actor, but you remember the character a lot, that means the actor did a good job.
He was also dating, probably this is his biggest accomplishment. He was dating one of those, I don't know if it was Kylie or something, or Kendall. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, congratulations.
Player-to-player pimp.
Timothée Chalamet. I think he's been on Saturday Night Live a bunch of times. I watch Saturday Night Live religiously, pretty much. So shout out to him as well. He's a very talented dude. All right, let's just move on now. Robinhood with earnings, man, up 5% here today. This is going to be a banger of a report, it feels like. It's just, look at this, into the close, into the print, market not doing anything. This name just continues to go booyaka up to 144, and that's exactly what it's doing, booyaka. It's like a financial terminology. And there it goes, up to 144 and change. He's heating up.
Looks more like a boom shakalaka.
It's not a boom shakalaka yet. The earnings are the boom shakalaka.
Okay, so it
hasn't dropped the boom. Remember, it's like he's heating up.
He's on fire.
You know, he's on fire.
Is it the shoes?
You know, it's like that kind of stuff. This is like, he's Glenn Rice heating up in NBA Jam, and he's got the fire on right now.
Russell knows.
Yeah, Russell knows. I knew he was going to know that.
Russell's cool as hell, man. Trust me. Like, we gotta get him on here one time.
Yeah, he has opinions on the Blue Jays.
I love Russell. Trust me.
All of that. Yeah, he's like where's Randy? I was gonna say he's like a smarter, more handsome Randy. I was looking. Where's Randy over here right now? Good thing I've known Randy for.
Not jaded by life.
Oh, that's Mark. Okay. Yeah, no. Good thing I've known Randy for 20-something years.
Oh, good.
There. All right, let's go over to the smartest person around here. It's Miss Adara.
Yeah. That's very kind of you to say, Sean. Thank you for that. If you guys look at your screen, you can see the headline here as well. But the CEO of Schwab commenting that apparently the company is still aiming to have crypto spot trading by the first half of 2026. So again, we could have a nice little move up here for Charles Schwab over the last half hour or so. CEO of the company saying they're still aiming to start crypto spot trading in the first half of fiscal 26. Back to you.
So I have to answer a super chat that we just got, that's just kind of crypto adjacent because there it is. Data Robertson, Robertson, did you check out OPFI similar to SoFi? I did not, but I just pulled it up and I wrote it on my iPad to remind myself to do so because the other day we were asking for literally, I think it was literally yesterday, we're like, give us some comps to SoFi.
Oh, right.
And, you know, it's nothing really stood out that to me was like an obvious one. I don't know them, so I'll have to look into it. I just have the chart up. I only pulled the chart up just to see what it looked like, but I don't know them really. And, you know, I like SoFi. I'll probably continue to just invest in SoFi, but just in terms of like sympathy plays, like when something goes and I see it breaking out, sometimes I want to be involved in something I think can like get a secondary move, get pulled up by it. So this, at least from a technical standpoint, like when I look at it, and I don't know whether it'll, in sympathy, my poppy just keeps on falling off. In sympathy, whether it will go, but when I see SoFi doing this, and on the monthly looking like it has a great chance at another leg break, then certainly the ability to drag things up is gonna stand out. So I will look into it for sure. I also, for everyone out there that kept putting in ASST, good volume today, and Strive, there was some news on Strive, I believe, this morning. Yeah, there was like oh no, never mind, it was on Monday, I guess the news was on Strive. But it is trending higher. The volume's good, but it's very choppy. So I think when you're trading this, this reminds me of some of the penny stocks when I started trading, where like most of what I did when I started as a trader, trading penny stocks, was I'd find a stock. I mean, this is literally exactly what we would do. A few of the traders, myself, another guy, and a couple of others on the floor. Like you'd see something with a pattern like this, and the second it had like the support, once I started to see it going on a day like that, by the time it gets to the open, and now this is the open at 9:30. See this here at 138. See how it's holding 138, holding higher lows, higher lows. Like this is it's a small mini trend break within like 3 cents. So I'd just be going long off this 38. And then if I see it happening again, like I'd be in, let's say you be in, I'd scalp out like 80% of the shares, and then it goes down and does this again, and then I'd get in again, and then you'd give it to that level, and then you'd scalp out 80%, all the while holding the long, and then it does this again, and then once you see it hold that level, like there's a buyer now at 44, then you buy that level, probably here and then here, scalp out 80% of it constantly, like the entirety of the day, and you'd be like super active on it. So that was the strategy back in the day, and that's what this ASST is doing. That's harder to do these days because back when I started trading, there wasn't like a million gateways, and there wasn't like 60% of the flow going through the dark pools. So it's incredibly tricky to pull that off. So don't do it anymore. I don't do it anymore. It's a lot harder to pull off. I'm sure it can be done. Done 200 million shares. I'm sure you could pull it off. But for us trading now,
so Rivian?
No, it's ASST.
Oh, that's done 200 million. Rivian's at 170, which you might have to ask ChatGPT that question. Like that's a high amount of shares for Rivian right now.
I would be willing to bet that if the only day that was probably bigger is that other day where it did like 50%. I'm going to put this on.
Right. All right, let's. So today again, off of earnings, this could be what happens here. We're watching Rivian. This could be what happens to Robinhood or something, where you get that sort of a squeeze play coming back in for them. So let's wait to see what does wind up happening, but it's a big move right now for Rivian. I just took some more out at 70 there. We'll see, where we go from there. But I seem to like that trade, and we're gonna get that all figured out. Of course, today my wife is here. I'll see if I can find a picture. She must have texted to me. Oh, here it is here. Oh, what's happening? She's walking my dog, and then out the back, we back onto like a big, what is that? You've seen where we did the run.
I don't know what you'd call it.
Green belt. It's a big green belt. Okay, that's exactly what it is. It's 150 feet of green. It's just crazy. Anyways, look what she finds out in the back.
Oh.
She finds a little stupid kitten, and my kids have been like, I want another cat. Our cat William passed away not too long ago. No, we're not. But look what it's already. This is what happens when my wife finds it. It goes right into the dog kennel.
Too late now.
It gets right into here. And by the way, underneath here is a heating pad.
That's a very beautiful new cat that you have.
She has, yeah. And my kids are just getting home from school, so I'm not even reading the chat now.
Congratulations.
I'm not
Congratulations on your new cat, Sean.
Thank you, Neil.
I think,
but I'm not even reading the chat right now because, like, Gia's been like, I want a cat. And I'm like, well, I want a couple hat tricks, you know? Like, I mean, the amount of money that we're spending on that, you know?
Okay, hold on a second. All right, so what time? It's at 3:29:50 something. Everybody heard Sean say, could Gia get a hat trick?
Yes.
So, but you just basically said that. So all she has to do is get a hat trick, and now you don't have a choice.
She knows that already, though.
Well,
that's not, what I'm saying is that she's wanted a cat forever.
But now she has a cat.
Yeah, but she just had a cat like a couple months ago.
But now she has another cat.
I know. I told her, it's like, look, you never clean the litter box. You don't do that. You don't
I'm on your side,
that,
Gia. Not that you're watching this right now.
Yeah,
but
well, it's already, like, the minute my wife put that in the freaking house, she's already given it a bath and everything. The thing about it is, I did tell her, so she's already phoned Saving Graces. It's not going to matter, but she did phone a rescue. And there's also, we don't know if it's it looks like it's a little too old to be nursing or whatever. So it might have been dropped off. Like, it might have been a litter that was not well received by its family or whomever, and it was just dropped in that back patch there. We'll wind up.
Yeah, at JB, no pets for me. Wasn't a thing for me growing up. My dad actually was very much against it for his own reasons. It's a longer story. My daughter's never shown any interest, which is weird because most kids, by the time she gets to her age, like her friends did, like her best friend, they have a dog, they've dog sat, like all that kind of stuff. And like, it's interesting. She's like me. She likes other people's dogs. I'd probably be a cat over dog person if we had to choose. But if we ever get a pet, it won't be my decision. It'll be because she wants one. That's just the way it's going to go, for sure. Which I need to be drinking more water too. But Apple won't be down on it, but it's a very disappointing trade. For two reasons. One, I believe that's a good story, but it's losing VWAP on what is a positive news story. So it held on for a couple of bounces. Ultimately, it couldn't break 270, and now it's breaking lower. You could have maybe shorted VWAP, but I didn't want to short this stock. I thought with that Gemini $1 billion cost for Gemini, you should at least be able to bounce off the volume weighted average price. And now this is, put this down for a second. This is going to close, if nothing changes, it's going to close red on a day where the NASDAQ is up almost a full percent, the NASDAQ actually rolling over.
Closing red? Oh, Apple, yeah.
Apple. So Apple, relatively weak today, despite the fact that they had good news. I would chalk some of that up to when the market was weak, Apple was strong. And Apple's chart is very much almost identical to yesterday. Like, very similar to yesterday when the market was much, much weaker. So Apple's kind of doing its own thing right now. So I don't think you have to worry too much about what the market is doing with regard to Apple. It's just in a little bit of chop. I thought this is the kind of story that could get it bringing up the next hump, and maybe the reaction will just be late. Who knows? Maybe this is going to give us a 271 breakout tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, no doubt. I just went in and purchased some at market price once I heard that story. So hopefully it goes up. I mean, Apple, literally, we talked about this yesterday. That's one that it's an own, don't trade. Like, I'm never getting out of it. Like, I got out of some Oracle, some SMR. We bought some more Bitcoin, obviously, but that's actually, Bitcoin's 104. That's actually pretty good. That's not too bad. We bought some Boeing. I bought some Target. I've been buying some Lulu over the last month or so. Other than that, yeah, pretty diversified.
Wasn't there a Supreme Court case in the tariffs supposed to be today?
Yeah, that was that was happening today. I don't know what the end result was. Adair, anything interesting from that?
I mean, you guys know I love these hearings, so it was fun for me to listen to. I will say it's interesting, as the hearing went on, that Kalshi odds for the Supreme Court upholding the Trump tariffs did drop. It seemed as well, this is just going to be me opining for a minute, but the Trump administration side here, the legal argument was a little scattershot. The judges seemed annoyed that he wasn't listening that hard, the lawyer, and he was interjecting a lot. That being said, they had good questions for both sides. They had legal questions for both sides. I think right now they're just trying to ascertain the legal arguments that each side is taking and then going to take that into consideration. So it's just oral arguments. It's the introduction to the process. That's what happened. But yeah, my take, and I think it's interesting too, that we had Kalshi with those odds now dropping for the Supreme Court upholding the tariffs. And then B, we had moves up here in a lot of these names that were initially hurt by tariffs, right? So like your Nikes, your apparel brands. So I think that's significant. In those areas of the market, we do seem to suggest people a little bit less worried about tariffs now, perhaps. Well, speaking of tariffs, I want to talk about some commentary from JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon. He says that tariffs are only one economic factor, but he does warn that the markets could fall and that there is, quote, an inevitable recession with credit impact. So JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, a little bit doom and gloom once again here, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara. And I could have hit the button for that, but I will hit this button for what I think is a pretty cool question. It's just fun. Nathan, what's the purpose behind Hydration Nation? Do traders die from dehydration more than other groups?
Yes.
Well, I can tell you, we're still alive, so I'm going to say no on that.
Many of you have not seen this.
No, but it is, I would say it is 100% true. If you have a job where you're sitting at a desk and like it's easy to get wrapped, like you're staring at screens, you're following the market, it is so really easy to get wrapped up. It's like, oh, I'm not drinking my water. I'm not getting up every 10, 15 minutes or whatever, to stretch it back. All that kind of stuff is entirely true of traders. I was really, really bad with that early on. And so
I think water's really taking over. Like there's a lot of people that now, no matter what you're doing. Yeah, but I initially was drinking this. Like this is, I forget how many gallons this was. And I started, now I'm just drinking this Green Bay Packer thing. This is 4 gallons, 4 liters, sorry. They're 1 gallon. 4 liters. So, but anyways, yeah, that's what Hydration Nation's all about. Okay, so Rivian, we had very, very small piece left. I think we might have had 10% left. I think even less. And there it goes, right? I mean, the minute we talked about this, there's breaking the 50-period moving average. So that's like a big out right there. We put that stop in, when we talked about it. And there it was out at 70, and then our last piece out as we break through the 200, and it looks like it wants to go back into its home a little lower right now for Rivian. And again, I think it's been a great day, but up 25%, probably due for a little bit of a pullback.
Yeah, Tesla broke some trend back in.
Okay.
I was looking at the imbalances. Nothing big on the early look. There was supposed to be an upweight today.
I don't have a stop on Palantir, but I should have.
EBC or something like that. But there was a buy for the Russell 2000. I'm pretty sure it's a NASDAQ. It might be a NASDAQ stock, so we wouldn't even see it if it was there. I'm just going to double check on my system. Yeah, it's a NASDAQ stock. So, unfortunately, we won't see it until 350. SU, Nothing Burger, GDX early. That's not even a big size at all. Pfizer, under 1 million shares. It's nothing. Gap, which is actually Gap.
Yep.
Kudos to them for finally making that change. 800,000 shares. So the early look is pretty much a Nothing Burger. QuantumScape, that might be something. 500,000 to buy on them. Let's pull all the way back into VWAP. QS was on a huge runner. It's still up 10% despite pulling back. If this one has an imbalance, it might be worth watching. I always try to figure what I want to look at right at the close. I thought maybe ASST could do something. It's not doing much of anything. Disappointment in Apple that it couldn't hold a bid. How did Google do on that news, or Alphabet?
It's not holding it. Well, the whole market's coming back, so I don't know.
Too fast and hit blue ocean.
We already looked at Google. It was fine.
And it's doing fine. So yeah. Apple goes down and Alphabet goes up after that news, which to me makes absolutely no sense. It's $1 billion. Like the improvement in the quality of the performance improvement for Apple is a bigger deal for Apple than Google getting $1 billion. Like it's just not.
This is just I didn't realize it's just a report from Bloomberg. Like it's probably not even true. So I don't know.
Oh, that's who it's from?
Yeah, it's from Bloomberg. We've seen a lot of stuff from Bloomberg.
Well, that's probably why.
DKNG, by the way. Okay, I just wanted to say DraftKings, I was just looking it up. They report tomorrow after hours. So tomorrow after hours for DraftKings, not a great looking stock. This could be one where if you're thinking negatively, you might be right about DKNG. Big bleed here, right into the lows of the day again. Nasdaq still up 1%, this down 2%, still going a lot lower here is DraftKings. But today, man, it's everything. Bros tonight, Lucid, even Snap. Snap could be another one of those names. Just tell me when to throw it over there, Andre. Snap right now, downside, down another 1.5%, breaking below this $7 area. So that should be a big one for tonight as well. Am I not hooked up? If you want to send it over, we can go. I do have my AirPods in, but I don't hear you, Andre, if you're trying to get a hold of me. There he is. All right, I hear you now. Over to Adara.
I actually have DraftKings earnings preview infographic here. This isn't even posted on X, so you guys are seeing it here first on Trader TV Live. But again, this will be dropping tomorrow morning, I believe I have it scheduled for. So check this out on X at TTV Research. I have a slew of content with regards to earnings previews. And again, as I mentioned, currently working on the implied moves infographic for tomorrow's slate of earnings, just making sure they're as up to date as possible. That should be posted very soon, and I'll drop a link to that post in our chat once it's done. Back to you.
I don't talk too much about it.
So like, yeah, DraftKings they've got some issues. Whoops, what? See, I've changed it to DraftKings and I have to hit it twice. Ooh. It's auto-linked, it is what it is. No, this has lost almost the last line of defense recently. There's still 25, 26 bucks. I think you can have a bounce play in there, but Kalshi, man, they're just kicking everybody's butt right now. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Robert V, Apple problem was day trades jumping on that news and now the red and cutting losses. No, I agree. Like but it doesn't always work that way for news-based trades, right? Where anybody that joins in basically just gets stopped out. And oddly enough, like to me, like when it got into VWAP, like my whole plan was, well, wait that out, right? Like the people that buy in here that are maybe getting stopped out, like trailed out there, or maybe the people that try that long. I'm like, okay, well, I'll actually wait for it to get down to where there was some support before and then take a shot at it, hoping that you've weighted all the people that are trading the news. But even that didn't work. I just think Apple, and like Sean said, it's not even coming from Apple, so.
Yeah, I mean,
I shouldn't have assumed that.
I just want to buy it now because I just think it's going to be a story.
No, but even, okay, so let's, under the assumption.
The reason why I bought Apple in the first place.
Yeah. But that is a good story if it ends up being true.
I bought it at 212, and I said the next stop is all-time highs, and I don't want to get any out, but here I am buying all-time highs. So let's wait to see if the market does fall down. Obviously, that's going to be a disaster trade, but I still like it. Snapchat on the way down as well. We only have now 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes until the imbalances. So hopefully, stay with us until then, and then join tonight as we go over all of the names with our earnings call. All right, so right now, just a quick little look at some of the other names that have been going around here. The ES right now is up 0.2%, while the NASDAQ is indeed up your 1%. Congratulations, everybody that was able to buy the dip and got in there when there was blood in the streets, apparently, yesterday. Look at financials, man. Today we did have Bank of America's Investor Day. They're down 2%. They must have said stuff that people did not like, or I don't know. AXP down 2%, Goldman Sachs down 0.5%, MasterCard, JP Morgan, Berkshire. There's a lot of good names here today that are making some moves to the high side. AIG is interesting that's down. We'll have to look at some of the insurance names today, but there that goes to the downside. Where's Berkshire today? Okay, 0.46. Nvidia trying to battle, right? Nvidia's had a little bit of a rough ride, and the fact that the NASDAQ's only up 1% and Nvidia's only up 0.15, Mr. Burry and company was probably happy with that relationship because, you know, you would have thought that Nvidia would have got the bump today based on what's happened with the NASDAQ. AMD up 3%, Broadcom up 3%, Google, Meta, Oracle, a lot of the big names. Look at this runner. We talked about this earlier. Micron right now up 10% today. That name just keeps on going. Was there news on Micron or something, Adara? Because MU is a rock and roll superstar, as is Western Digital right here. I guess people are finally real.
For some reason, there is no news on Micron.
Okay,
I
well,
literally
for some
don't have
reason
anything.
it's up 10%.
The V-shaped recovery, man.
Yeah, man. And again, just buy. This is what I mean. Like, good quarter for Micron. It made all-time highs. Got hit down yesterday. So be it. Now up today. I can't figure these things out for the life of me. Eli Lilly, 3% up. We really love that name, man. The only saving grace of me selling Google down in that 160, part of my Google was it went right into Eli Lilly, maybe performing similarly to Google now at those levels, approaching 1,000. We saw a high tick today. I don't know what today's high was, but yeah, 955. Thanks, Adara, for that one. So that's a good one there. BMY, we got news on them today. Pfizer's been in the news for a while. And then here's some of the names that we were a little bit upset with that didn't actually dip too much more. Caterpillar up 5, AMAT, Lam Research.
Whoa, Lam's up 7%.
Yep, Lam's a good one. ASML probably, I don't know if they're on here. GE Vernova, only up 3%, but they had a nice dip down opportunity to buy them over the last couple of days. 3M's What a missed opportunity that was. 3M got hit for a very, very long time, and now finally back up. HubSpot.
Lamb's a really good company.
Yeah, LRCX. Yeah, I mean, some of these companies that have the equipment that just can't be duplicated, always good there with Lamb. LRCX, definitely a good one. People are always asking, like, I don't know why people are always saying, like, Sean, when am I buying Circle? Like, I don't. It is at, so we were looking at this before.
This is a huge level.
Yeah, so massive level, because not only that, it's also from earnings, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, they've made this move down. There's the break off that IPO. So, you know, with USDC, that's their big baby. You're going to forever be, we had Trump talking about that earlier, USDC. I'm not sure exactly. Actually, Derek, could you find out what Trump was also talking about with that crypto there? I thought I heard him around, like, I believe between 2 to 2:30, Trump was mentioning something about crypto.
I went back and watched the speech from when I was gone. I never heard crypto. He talked a lot about a lot of other things, including eggs and Easter eggs. I did not hear anything about crypto, and I did go back and watch the part of the speech that I missed. But like, unless he mentioned it offhand, he said a lot of stuff, but I'm sorry, like there's nothing about crypto that is standing out to me right now. He did have a 4.2% or greater GDP target for this quarter. Yeah, again, nothing that I heard with regards to crypto.
There is.
People in the chat are saying he did mention making US the Bitcoin power. There was something.
I remember hearing that.
There was something about crypto, but it doesn't matter. As Adair mentioned, could have just been in passing.
Which would bode well for Circle, because they applied for the National Trust, whatever the heck.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Charter,
So-
which, I mean, ultimately, that would be good for them. If you don't, like the thing, if you don't, like it's either here or.
Oh, ending the war on crypto. Yeah, that is what
that's what he said.
That's exactly what he said. I remember I was like, first of all, I didn't realize there was a war on crypto, but yeah, he's trying to end it. So.
Well, the regulators, it was like a de facto. I remember hearing something from, you know, knowing somebody who had worked at a bank, and this was one of those, it was like it would happen where if transfers were being made for crypto, suddenly they would run into roadblocks. And it was like an unspoken thing that was happening at banks. And now, you know, and that's, again, I'm talking about this anecdotally, but I absolutely trust the person that said that to me. There's no way they would lie about it. And so there was like this de facto war that was going on like behind the scenes. And ultimately, I think we're in a different zone.
You're here to end that
this one
war.
kind of makes sense for a trade. I would just worry if it loses this bid. You're really talking about 40% downside if it loses here.
And that's what I was getting at. If you're looking at the technicals,
You're at 70 in a heartbeat.
like that was a breakout spot. It could also be a breakdown spot.
It works both. It cuts both ways.
So
Do I think you'd be 160 from here? Yeah, but the risk is to 70.
Where is Circle's earnings? Or when are, not where is. Circle, did we already get the report? There, 7 days. The 12th for Circle. So the 12th for Circle, we could definitely have a spot for it on our show. But yeah, you know what? 112, you know, where the players dwell, that might be a good level there for Circle. We'll see if it can come back in there tomorrow. All right, we're going to go over to Adara.
Yeah, keep an eye here on OS OneStream. Reuters reporting that OneStream, which is a financial software maker, is exploring a potential sale. According to unnamed sources, Reuters again reporting OneStream OS exploring a potential sale. Big push to the upside for OS as we send you back to Sean and Neil.
Ooh, just be careful with these. There was a name the other day where, like it was deal speculation, and sometimes it comes out like lower than expected, or
pizza,
or even worse than that, where there is a deal that gets offered, but the board doesn't accept it. So it's again not firm. Like there's either there's an official offer, but even if there's an official offer, the board needs to accept it to be firm, and then you have all the closing conditions and antitrust and all that stuff, shareholder vote that goes into it. But if you don't have either a firm offer or an offer in the first place, or a firm offer accepted by the board, you run this risk. Apollo pulls the offer and everyone gets smashed because the board needs to accept it. And you can argue whatever you want, the board made a mistake, but if they don't accept it, then it's not a firm offer, and you can't really trade off of that with any security. The ones that get firm offers, they're gonna close like a really high percentage of the time, unless they have antitrust issues. But then what a rinse job that was for Domino's. Domino's still down there. I'm actually considering whether there's a dip buy in here in Domino's. on the off chance that something else comes, whether somebody else wants it or an offer comes back in, to just maybe hold it for like a week or two on the off chance something comes in. But I'm already making a play in a buyout. Like I'm buying up WonderFi as it dips, so I'm probably not going to do that.
And David's on one today. Thank you so much for the super chat. If you want to put it up here, Andre and or Neil. I don't even. Oh, there it is. David, okay. Mark, video wall guy. Okay, yep. Half a terabyte GPU cumulative memory. Look, man, nobody should have to grow or shave hair, donate to charity, exactly. We want everyone to be, you know, obviously in a charitable mood. Ice challenge. Oh, yeah, that's right. The, what was that
Smirnoff
called?
Ice.
Smirnoff Ice. What, I didn't even read the rest of that. Oh, was silly but raised money. Oh, Rivian, easy short.
Swing after that. Easy short swing after that move.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, and balances just hit.
Okay.
So balances are now. Nvidia's $5 million to sell. Apple $2.5 million to buy. Kenvue's a sell of $2 million. Who cares? Amazon $1.8 million to buy. ETH again $1.3 million to sell. Every day it's been a sell. ETHA. So QBTS $1 million to the buy side. Those are big ones. Nvidia $5 million to sell. Did it even? I'm assuming it moved.
I'm not even over on that. NVDA.
Yeah, it moved.
Yeah, that's a big move down.
That's a big move down. No, but just keep in mind, at 355 is usually a pairing event. So whatever it's doing, I almost think that that might be a nice bounce play at the 355 moment. Apple didn't move much off of that buy and balance. It's barely back at the volume weighted average price. Amazon, I didn't read off, but that's 1.8 million to the buy side. Is that number what? The market, okay, I'm just reading what Dara posted. Overall market's 360 million to sell. Yeah, I guess that all, yeah, it should be flat because NVIDIA, that offsets there for sure. NVIDIA offsetting a couple of buy imbalances. But every single day, ETHA seems to be a sell imbalance at the end of the day.
Always something.
Yeah, 1 or 2 million every time.
We will, David. I'll, you know, Mark's busy doing a whole bunch of stuff. We'll see what kind of information we can share once we get that answer. You're here every day, so don't worry. We'll get the answer tomorrow on that. We'll just ask him for maybe the spec and see if he can get us promised land. That one. Thank you again for everything that you've done, David. Tons of super chats, and we really appreciate that, and good luck for all of your trades. Yeah, NVIDIA, man, wow. It was just down, it was flat. Remember, we were looking at it, and I was like, well, Burry might have had one there because NVIDIA was only up 0.15 or down or whatever it was. But right there, man, a big sell coming in into those imbalances at the end of the day. So Apple sell, Apple buy, sorry, NVIDIA sell. I'm actually going to make sure that I get the source right for these because I don't want to have old stale ones unless Apple was maybe from the morning. But there it is right now. So now we're all settled out. Apple, NVIDIA, Amazon buy, Kenvue, ETH. QBTS is also a buy. So some of these stocks just kind of float around, right? I mean, some of them don't have huge impacts, but that should be a good one for Apple as that goes to the upside right here. Maybe that's Bloomberg buying some shares. Then Amazon gets a spike too. So Neil and I will always say, like, we're not trying to get into too many shares here near the end of the day because of different moves like this. No matter what you're reading technically, there it goes to the upside on no technicals, right? Because it's the imbalance. So it's just moving on market forces, and back up to 250 for Amazon on what's been a great day, but you wouldn't know that by this afternoon. We've faded pretty much 100 points here on the NASDAQ.
It's NVIDIA's fault.
It's, yeah, for sure, because the market wanted to run.
This whole move to the downside, pin it up. You don't usually see this. It's dropped $4 from volume weighted average price, dragging the NASDAQ with it. It's absolutely wild. Like it's 353, so I'm going to be staring this down. I think there's going to be a chance at a bounce play here. Like if it's 4 million, it was 5 million or 4.9 million when it came out. It's still about 2 minutes to go. I think at some point in that last 30 seconds before 355 is a spot to just punch long. At this moment, like the out would be like it's bounced off the current low, so I just put a stop at the current low. If it's making a fresh low, then I don't really have a plan of action. It needs to have already made a bottom. Otherwise, I don't really have a plan there because you have to have an out. Because I want to just be able to punch long, throw a stop, and then it either pairs off or doesn't. If it pairs off, it goes up and you take a win. If it doesn't, then you just get the low of the day as you're out. So with almost 1 minute to go, that's going to be the plan for myself. And right now, everybody, I want to remind you that for a long time, trading meant risking your own capital. and never having enough to start. That fear of losing kept a lot of traders on the sideline. That is changing. Why? Because Trade the Pool has a limited risk trading model where you use funded capital and Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. That allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. And when you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits, no fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. The limited risk revolution is now powered by Trade the Pool. So visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code to get 10% off your evaluation. So we are within 30 seconds of the imbalances. You don't need to see my chart. I will keep it on the locator here. Nvidia is now paired off all the way down to 3 million shares. I think it's going to pair. I have a stop. I have a stop underneath 196. I might try to punch long as it tries to go to the upside and bounce here. So did I get some? And we'll see. And in 5, I might have gone too early because I could stop out before. I could stop out before. Do not do anything.
We won.
The pair. What does that sound? No, it did not pair off all the way, so I'm out. It broke that 96 level, so I just jumped out of it. It paired a lot of it off, but still 1.5 million to the sell side. I'll show you what that looks like on the chart now. Everything else more or less the same. Intel showed up out of nowhere, but who cares about that? So it took the shot right in front of 96, but I had to stop in. I actually thought it was gonna get me before 55, but I wanted to see that number go to flat or possibly green. It's kind of like it's gone so far down. If it flips to green, you probably get a couple of dollars out of it. But that's the story going into Robinhood, at least. Well, I mean, there's a lot of earnings. Robinhood's just the first one.
That's going to be the biggest.
Yeah, that's the one that's top of my mind. Even though I own shares of ARM.
Oh, we should have done a poll. We forgot about a poll. That's okay.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, we could have done like a, yeah.
Robinhood green or red
Robinhood
poll.
green or red poll, but it's a little bit late for that. No, but this Nvidia move, that's wild. Like, because this was recovery day.
Yeah.
This was market bounce day, and Nvidia, which is supposed to be our leader, our fearless leader, is going to end up closing red. So unfortunate here. I don't really see any news here. So unfortunately, it looks like it's just selling off. It could. Look, the stock's been so strong, there could still be profit takers. Robinhood, worth noting, took a little bit of a turn here at the end of the day as well. Up almost 5%, still 4.3, but it is also falling down. I just feel like a lot of things just got spooked by Nvidia. This, of course, had earnings.
Well, the market is
going in, but I'm willing to bet you Micron got spooked there a little bit off. Actually, not that much off the highs. 9%. This is the strongest name in the chip space today. Somehow it was this and Lamb that led the way, believe it or not.
I mean, here's something funny. Like, so Apple, like, look at this market going down, right? I mean, obviously Apple and Nvidia, the two biggest names in pretty much any marketable ETF that's following the Nasdaq or the S&P 500, as they are the largest. They are the largest holders in those ETFs as percentage-wise. And you can see right now the Nasdaq is falling, and look what Apple's doing because, again, we have that buy imbalance. It's just boom, right up there, back into 270. So we went long in and around there. Just a quick check on that imbalance, see if it's still kicking. Nvidia is now only 1.2 million. Apple's still a million bid. So there still is some upside here in this trade to end the day for Apple. So we didn't talk too much today about banks, but JP Morgan, we saw almost back to all-time highs again, I think around that 315 or so mark that we are looking to get some more out on if it comes back into that area. I like that trade for JP Morgan. But yeah, it's AMD's day today. I mean, what a great earnings report last night. Although you wouldn't have thought about it if you were watching the report, because it did make that move into 230, and then now 258. It looks like we'll go out around 256. So great high put in, almost 260 we got there. Talk about fading key levels, man. That 260 would have been one for the ages if you were able to do that. So yeah, it's just so far so good today. A couple big trades. You know, we did have some Palantir. We only traded Apple once. We lost on that one. Rivian was a good one until it fell through, and now it's just hovering around. The big winner, though, for your portfolio, I think, is probably Rivian, up that 23%. Did Upstart ever get going? It was down 14% there at one point today. Yeah, now only down 9%, so that got going into the close.
Unity got back to green.
Yeah, Eli Lilly had a big day today.
18% for Unity.
Ooh, up 18%.
But the bad, before I get to the desk, whoops. Oh, there's only a minute and a half left.
Yes.
SMCI is going to close down 11%. And Pinterest is going to close down 21%.
Oh, that was another big one, yeah.
21% down for Pins. Not good. But, hey, maybe someone likes that value.
There's no interest in that.
Ooh, yeah, there's no interest in pins. All right, I'm going to mosey on up to this.
That was a
1
pretty
minute
good
to go. Good one today. I'll see you.
Yeah, all right.
And congratulations on the new cat. I think that's
Yes,
fantastic.
I don't know. I wonder what the name's going to be.
We shouldn't do a poll.
Stupid new cat.
We should not do a poll.
No.
Yeah, G is going to name the cat.
Yeah, well, yeah, the kids.
What do you mean, well, yeah, of course G
kids.
is naming that.
Well, Baron could. You never know.
Oh,
You don't know our family rules.
I have a strong guess
like
that if there's a decision, if the Gia wins that battle.
It won't be a battle. It'll just they'll figure it out.
I think
the
Gia
kids,
wins.
The kids play well together.
I think Gia wins that one.
Probably. She's wanted a cat for a while, and I think this. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. We don't know nothing. All right, guys. There's only 30 seconds to go. Again, thank you for everything. Neil's going to get over there and do the recap show with Adara, and it is just an absolute monster earnings day here today. I mean, it's not going to be like not market cap wise, but there's Qualcomm, Duolingo, Lyft, right? I mean, so many bros is on there as well. AAPL, I mentioned that earlier. AAPL a big one. With only 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. NASDAQ finishes the day. Thank you. Ring that bell. NASDAQ finishes the day horribly, but still up 0.6. But what a move down for the NASDAQ to end the day. Did the ES hold out too? Yeah, 0.32 there as well. Qualcomm is already out right now. So I'll get the thumbs up. They reported $3. That beats 288. Qualcomm with a beat. Both revenues a beat, EPS also a beat for Qualcomm, as there it goes, bouncing around right now as this name continues to go. Thumbs up, Andre. We are ready to go. Thank you so much. That's me. Back over to the desk. I'm coming, dentist.
Get that dentist, Sean.
Welcome to the Market Recap Show, brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex. And Qualcomm is already out. We're awaiting Robinhood a few minutes after the bell. Qualcomm ran the highs. It was already up almost 5% and now heading a little bit lower, so it's still up 3 points. But what a rinse job they just did. Up to 183, down to 176, back to 180, and heading lower now. This is threatening to go red, Adara. What are the numbers?
I have info. They were a double beat. So as Sean mentioned there, that's a double beat. Adjusted earnings, $3 per share versus $2.88 expected. Sales, $11.27 billion, above estimates of $10.787 billion, a double beat. Guiding Q1 adjusted earnings between $3.30 and $3.50 per share. The guidance, though, here, the lower end slightly below estimates of $3.31. The midpoint, though, well above estimates. They're guiding sales here for the quarter, that's Q1 26, between $11.8 billion and $12.6 billion. That is entirely above estimates of $11.617 billion. So Q1 EPS guidance still does beat on the midpoint. Their sales guide beat across the board, and better than expected sales and EPS for the quarter. Lyft and Duolingo were also expected to get at 4 p.m., guys. So I'll be looking for those for you right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Qualcomm's still heading a little bit lower. I will pull up. Lyft is barely moving already, but let's be real. Before we get to Robinhood, Nvidia, you guys all saw you saw that move at the end of the day on Nvidia. Nvidia is still falling right now and down 2%. And so, there was a lot of discussion like what could be going on here. Institutional selling. Well, yeah, it's a reasonable theory, but this is what Nvidia was doing most of the day, and then right at the end of the day, there was a 5 million sell imbalance, and it just continued to fall right on into the close, ending up now almost 2% down here from prior close. So a lot of the rebound rally that we had, Nvidia put the kibosh on this for a lot of the tech names. So Qualcomm, we're not off to a good start with Qualcomm threatening to go red itself here. Robinhood in about 2 or 3 minutes here. But Duolingo, I was criticizing them for their chess on Duo. Whoops, that's not the right one. Where are you, Duolingo? It's DUOL. My daughter's been using it a lot, and I think the chess function's not that good. This got smoked. The bid came in fast, but this hit 230. That's a real print. It's actually hit $230 and was down double digits and just got back to 256. So Duolingo is taking it on the chin, and it has been doing so for the last few months.
I mean, that's a name I like to day trade, so I'm certainly going to be watching this.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow, daily active users up 36% year
it just
over
broke
year.
the high.
Wait, actually, I don't have the numbers. I just have how their metric. Okay, I just got their numbers. I was just going to say I have their year-over-year metric growth. But yeah, daily active users here up 36% year-over-year, revenue up 41% year-over-year, and above estimates, Neil. Revenue 271.7 million, above estimates of 260.3 mil, and again, up 41% year-over-year. We talked about the daily active user growth. Monthly active users 135.3 million. Not seeing how that compares to competitors, but it is worth noting this name always gets hit every time any AI company, OpenAI, has any mention of
what stock that is.
anything with regards to translation apps. Let's talk about ARM, though. I'll look into the numbers.
You knew it's ARM as that one's going higher. By the way, Duolingo somehow is taking out the top after that. Rinse the bottom 10% and then taking out the highs. ARM blasted 9% up and now starting to come back in here a little bit. Remember, Robinhood in about 1 minute, but ARM 5% to the upside. That's still going to be less than the expected move of 8.8%, but let's see what's going on. Last time it moved 13%, but what are the actual numbers, Adara?
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like they reported earnings of 39 cents per share, above estimates of 33 cents. Revenue looks like they reported 1.135 billion, above estimates of 1.06 billion, so that's a good look for ARM. Also, apparently a Delaware judge saying she's not going to block Metsera from terminating the Pfizer deal to accept Novo. So looks like they have what they want here. Looks like Novo's going to get Metsera, and Pfizer's probably going to release a strongly worded email in a couple hours. Let's also talk here about Nvidia. I'm seeing some comments here from Jensen Huang saying that China will win the AI race with the US. This could be why we tanked. I just saw this now, but sometimes when we get this commentary, it came out a bit earlier. So again, and he's always said this. This is not new. He has always said that the U.S. made mistakes with export controls that were going to cost them in the long run. Looks like he's saying now that it's a done deal.
Robinhood's moving here a little bit. I don't see the numbers yet, but Robinhood is headed to the downside. It looks like it just broke VWAP. It just got down to 139. We're getting Lucid's also apparently dropping as well. But we're watching Robinhood. This is the biggest name I think for a lot of the traders out there.
I have Hood numbers.
It's not looking very good for Hood. It's not crazy to the downside. It's actually still up on the session, but overall looking slightly lower here on Robinhood.
Yeah, it looks like these are out. I'm seeing these circulated a couple times. I'm always cautious when I haven't seen them on my own platform, but I'm seeing these circulate on social media, and it looks like a double beat here for Hood. I'm just going to check if Benzinga has posted the report yet, and it's loading, so that's fun. But yeah, it looks like they beat on EPS and revenue as far as I can tell, but again, going to wait here. I will talk about ARM guidance. Q3 revenue, they're seeing between 1.18 bill to 1.28 bill. That is mostly above, that is actually entirely above guidance of 1.11 bill. I do have Robinhood earnings, and they were what I thought they were. Earnings of 61 cents per share, above estimates of 53 cents. Revenue 1.27 billion, above estimates of 1.2 billion. Sometimes I like to wait, guys, make sure I'm seeing the right numbers, because a lot of numbers circulate online here. But again, Robinhood with the double beat.
Yeah, we're going to need to see a little bit more granular from Robinhood, but it's not, whatever it is right now, just a double beat's not going to be enough. This was a stock that was priced. You can't go up 5x from Liberation Day and not expect to run into a little bit of a turbulence at the highs. And that's been the issue at 150. So I'm not terribly surprised that we're not getting some kind of a breakout and a blowout here over on Robinhood. There are some other names that are going. IonQ, if you're looking at the quantum space, keeping in mind, this is up 8 or 9% without even having seen the numbers yet. Try to remember that all these names, it's not really even about the fundamentals at this point. So it almost doesn't, I'm not saying it doesn't matter the top and the bottom, but all the revenues are so low that beating expectations is like a drop. It almost doesn't mean anything there. And there's a lot of things moving. And we'll get back to Robinhood in a quick little second.
I have a lift.
Pun absolutely intended, the elf fell off the shelf.
Oh, no.
And I don't mind saying that one, because if you got kids, then you got to do that thing every single year. We're still doing it at my house.
They have a Trump elf that you can find on Truth Social, which I know because they have a lot of ads. And it's not related to anything, and I don't think it's official, but there's a Trump elf on the shelf, and people should know that if they don't already.
There you go.
I can talk about, I'll look up ELF here in a second. My platform is just having some issues loading, unfortunately. I have Lyft, though, which I can just go over now. Revenue up 11% year over year, not seeing how it compares to estimates. Gross bookings up 16% year over year. Net income actually up from a loss last year. Adjusted EBITDA up 29% year over year. FCF, free cash flow, up 14% year over year. So tons of year-over-year improvements for Lyft, lifting themselves higher. And as long as an extra zero doesn't slip into their guidance like a couple years ago, then we'll be all good. I'm not seeing numbers on ELF, though, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing anything. I'm still looking.
They're so bad that your platform doesn't want anybody to see.
Well, no platform. Usually you'd find them at least on X. They're not even on X, Neil.
It's not just ELF that's dropped. DoorDash down 12% here. And absolutely, and this is one, like this is, you can't, this is not like, say, an ELF or something that's been trending down. DoorDash is now breaking down in a big way on trend. It lost to 50 just last week. It's losing the 200 period as we speak. DoorDash had been trending really well, and unfortunately that's taking a hit, 13% to the downside. This one, this one looks actually pretty bad on the daily. DoorDash, we don't use them anymore in my house, so we're all Uber Eats, and apparently that might be true for a lot of others.
Yeah, I use whatever has deals. I'm not even going to lie, guys. Revenue, 3.45 bill, above estimates of 3.36 bill. EPS, though, Neil? They missed estimates. 55 cents versus 68 cents expected. That is not a small miss. And also that might be why people are dashing through the snow out of the stock. Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary, saying that he came away from the tariff hearings today, quote, very optimistic. That might only be him because, as we mentioned, Kalshi actually thinking the chances of them winning that case dropping a little bit. I have more insight here on Dash. Orders rose by 21% year over year. Marketplace GOV up 25% year over year. Their Q4 GOV outlook here, 28.9 bill to 29.5 bill. I am not seeing how that compares to estimates, unfortunately. People asking me about IONQ. Guys, I do apologize. We got a lot of numbers. We're going to get through them for all of you as quickly as we can. That's all we can do here at Trader TV Live. IONQ looks like they reported larger than expected losses. Again, I like to make sure I'm seeing the right numbers. Yeah, so they did lose $3.58 per share. That is well above the expected loss of 44 cents. So IONQ, I'm not putting it lightly when I say that as a massive miss and a much larger than expected loss. Revenue was a beat, though, 39.866 mil versus estimates of 26.99 mil. I'm seeing AAPL guidance. Let's see if we have those numbers. AAPL guiding Q4 revenue 1.57 bill to 1.6 bill, above estimates of 1.54 bill. So AAPL already beat on revenue guide, but what were those numbers? I'm going to look into it now.
It's Hood that continues. Hood is now red on the session here, and Robinhood does not. It's not really holding up. I mean, their platform assets were up over 100% year over year. It just doesn't seem like this is going to be enough. I saw in the chat someone just saying this is not good enough for 5x. And sometimes it's just how it is. But it's not absolute disaster. It's only down 1% for now, and it hasn't really broken through yesterday's low. So it's actually catching a bid off of yesterday's lows, which are important lows because we had like a dump off and everything yesterday. So if it can hold on to that, it wouldn't be all that bad. But it doesn't matter. They seem to be beating everything. But do we have more numbers here and give more context to Robinhood's drop?
They only missed on one thing, but it's a pretty big thing to miss on, Neil. They missed on crypto revenue.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
So they reported crypto revenue of 268 million, missing estimates of 287.2 million, but still up a cool over 300% year over year. So up more than 300% year over year, but missing estimates. Guys, this market be like that sometimes. So I would honestly not be shocked if that's why we're down. But as Neil always says, a saying that I really like to learn from and live by as well, the earnings are what they are, and there's no such thing as bad report or good report, only earnings. We'll talk about Snapchat in a second. I just want to let you guys know Q3 earnings for AAPL were a double beat. We already talked about better than expected guidance. Q3 earnings 245 versus 241 expected. That's a beat EPS. Sales also a beat, 1.405 billion above estimates of 1.336 billion. Beat and a raise for app.
That's pretty good for app. And you know what? Apparently Snap can go to the upside on earnings. It has happened. I feel like every single time these guys report, they're down 20%. That could just be I remember all the times they're down 20%. But remember, this is not the short float that it used to be. It's only about a 7% short float. It used to be double digits, I believe, but it is breaking back out. So you can call it a little bit of a squeeze here on Snapchat, up double digits. I'm assuming the numbers are good, but sometimes it doesn't need to be that. When the stock is at the bottom, they don't have to be that good, really.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing. They had, like, last report was not great. You could have seen that rate cap on X at TTV Research. So they had a double beat, which honestly for something like Snap, sometimes that's really all you need. So they were expecting losses of 12 cents per share, only lost 6 cents per share. So that is like, they halved the loss we were expecting. That's not too bad here. Revenue 1.507 billion, above estimates of 1.49 billion. So cool double beat here for SNAP. Unfortunately, I don't have any more insight right now, but I will say the amount of social media attention for this on X is gargantuan. Like, I am not seeing any number or any tickers being tagged as much. on X, like of any of these earnings names. We're seeing every couple seconds a tag for Snap. That is kind of unheard of, guys.
They like to squeeze names.
Yeah, it's squeezy. It's being squeezy over here.
And that's sort of the thing. Like, there's always going to be, if there's a short float, there's opportunity. It's got a lot of room to run. So it's kind of one of those appealing names where it can go. I saw some people saying that Robinhood was running. Well, for context, it did get back up to 142, but it's right back underneath 140. So the buyers tried to step in, and they kind of got slapped down. So we're still making some lower highs on Robinhood. It has caught a bid from yesterday's lows. It's caught a bid, and they did beat across the board outside of, as Derek said, it's that crypto revenue.
That's not a good thing to miss on.
No, it's not. And then on top of that, like, you have to remember where the stock has come from. Ultimately, like we've seen the last couple of sessions, like you've been beaten up on a few names despite having solid numbers. So Robinhood for now is back in the green. Just want to remind everyone what that daily chart does look like. But Snapchat absolutely flying. ARM, although giving some back, did get up to double digits, now only 3% to the upside. You got to be careful. We saw what happened with AMD. Like you can have a breakout on one of these chip names, and then all of a sudden come in the next day, or at the end of the, or even by the time we're out of here, it loses support, and then we're gapping down. But even more numbers on Robinhood. That's I think it's a lot of people's main focus today, is Robinhood. Can it battle back and maybe break those highs again?
So here's the thing, their CFO is retiring. That's the other thing I have. I kind of went over all their numbers, but the CFO is retiring. I'm not saying that's massive, but it's something to keep in mind. And people asking, are they going to cover this? Are they going to cover that? We're going to try to cover everything, guys, but keep in mind, I have 17 names on this implied earnings infographic, and I know that's not even close to all the names that people are watching that are reporting. So we're just going to do what we can, and I do apologize.
There's a note here at Real Trading where it also has like all the names that were reporting, and this is the day that it actually has. It was just, there's more than any other day, I believe. I
am sure.
In terms of total. Like Figma is also out, everybody. And apparently they crossed $1 billion in annual revenue run rate for Figma. And unfortunately, it's not doing anything off of that. Figma mostly sideways, like it rinsed up, it rinsed down, and it's right back to where it started. So not a heck of a lot going on there with Figma, but they did have, look, they get record revenue. I guess that's supposed to be a good thing, but this is literally at all-time lows as we speak. So not enough to get this one off the schneid, unfortunately, for Figma.
Yeah, Figma, I mean, 38% year-over-year revenue growth is not bad. I had to talk, though, about the fact that Reuters is reporting, and also I'm seeing apparently Sean Duffy saying that the U.S. might cut air traffic 10% by Friday if there isn't a shutdown deal. So if you are an airline, you're probably sweating behind your knees right now. Actually, as I said that, I psychosomatically sweat behind my knees. That's really weird, guys. We'll talk about Joby. Sorry for, we're living life right here, guys. It's a wild world.
Love the honesty.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if I do, but it happens, so we're living with it. Adjusted, or we had losses of...
Get it, Derek.
Thank you very much, Neil. You get it. 48-cent loss per share here for JOBY. That is quite larger than the expected loss of 19 cents, but their revenue, a ginormous beat, 22.57 million versus estimates of 3.4 million. Their revenue was 805% 805 times higher on a year-over-year basis. So psychotically large revenue beat and then EPS miss. I don't really understand you, Joby, but shout out to you. I do have Lucid as well, so shout out to Timmy C, your friend Timothy Chalamet over there. They did miss on revenue, unfortunately, 336.6 million versus estimates of 379.1 million, and a larger than expected adjusted loss, Neil. Can you believe it? $2.65 loss versus estimates of a $2.27 loss. Liquidity of the quarter, roughly $5.5 billion by the end, including the expanded $2 billion delayed draw loan from PIF, which is, of course, that Saudi investment fund.
Yeah, there will not be a Rivian moment for these guys tomorrow.
No.
That's what I'm going to say about Lucid. Like, Rivian might not have been doing much, but it was at least a little bit stronger and a little bit better numbers off the board. 2 New York Cent in the chat just said, Hood, good numbers, why is it going down? I could list off all of the names that had good numbers this quarter that actually gave up gains or pulled back. But I mean, there's almost no point. But you could point to AMD yesterday. But if you looked at what happened to AMD today, the market just bought it right back up. So there's always a possibility that Robinhood could do that. When you actually look at the structure of everything here, like we didn't even test the 50-period support on the daily on earnings. Sometimes we do that and we'll bounce right off it. That didn't even get tested. So there's a heck of a lot that this could still bounce off. and it's not even technically red. Like, yes, it's dropped a little bit in the aftermarket, but because of the gains, this will actually be higher than yesterday's close. So I'd say disappointing, because the market reaction was not to buy it up, but it's not exactly falling all over itself. We've seen a heck of a lot worse this earnings cycle, and now we have Fortinet, cybersecurity. There's something for everybody here, even cybersecurity.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you, whatever you like to trade, there's probably something based on this roster that you can look at, and that includes tomorrow morning's roster as well. Okay, Snapchat partnering with Perplexity. That's probably part of why it went up. I do have to mention that. But now we're back to talking about Fortinet, because Fortinet's here, and they had a double beat, Neil. Adjusted earnings, 74 cents per share. Nice, above estimates of 63 cents. What about sales? Did they beat on sales? Oh, my voice cracked there. Yes, they did. $1.725 billion versus estimates of $1.704 billion. So that's a double beat. Q4 adjusted earnings better than expected. They're guiding sales. They're also guiding here. Oh, sales. I'm blind. Yeah, so lower end of their sales is going to miss. Midpoint's also going to miss. They're guiding sales between $1.825 billion to $1.885 billion for next quarter versus estimates of $1.876 billion. They also raised their fiscal 2025 adjusted EPS guidance, so that is now going to beat estimates, but they narrowed their fiscal 2025 sales guidance, which is now the midpoint of that is going to be basically in line with estimates. So again, tepid sales guide, better than expected EPS guide for both the quarter and the year, and a double beat for Fortinet. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty strong.
I don't think you auto buy this one. Like last time, I remember we liked the report more, and it was like, why is it down? It got destroyed. It was down over 20% when you came in the next day, and then it was just a buy the dip situation. I don't know if I feel that way this time. It feels a little bit different for Fortinet. I think it's almost a stay away. Just to recap here, there's a couple of names. I know we'll get back to Robinhood. Whoops,
Lyft as well.
I hate that there's actually a stock that is Duo, and Duolingo is right back at the low. The good news is somebody's buying it up at 210. So every single bounce, like in the initial bounce, and then every subsequent 3-minute candle has held that $210 level on Duo. That's the good news. The bad news is down 19%, and there's nothing incredibly interesting if it breaks these lows here, like the 200 to 210 level. Like you're going all the way back to 2024 when this was, dumped down into the 150, 160 range. So if it loses this bid, I don't even know what's going to happen here. It's looking really bad for Duolingo, unfortunately. And then one of the other names that we're mentioning that was taking on the chin, DoorDash, also at the lows. Also down about 18% and barely holding on. This did lose the $200 level, and there is nothing in sight in terms of support. It's just going to have to find something. Another week one ELF, 25% to the downside on earnings.
Oh boy.
This has also lost all support, local support here on the daily chart, underneath the 200-period moving average. So it's looking pretty bad. So for everyone out there that's like, why isn't Robinhood going up on the good quarter? It could be a heck of a lot worse, because a bunch of names are getting taken to the woodshed tonight, and it wasn't like it was even all that bad. Now I would venture to say it's not looked that good for ELF, but DoorDash was an event. That's a stock that was working for a while, that was looking just okay, and they're getting smoked. Duolingo was also a stock that was working pretty well, and it's definitely reverse trend. Sean James in the chat just said bear market incoming. We'll see. If you look at the indexes, we're not that close to pulling in the bear market. A lot still has to break down. But when you start adding up some things, like these comments from Jensen, Nvidia finally bouncing after that sell-off, you start to line it up, and we are looking a little bit weak. When you see name after name get sold off on earnings, well, we need to see if we get a little bit of what we had today. Like, can some of these names pull an AMD, where it looks really bad overnight, and everyone's sort of freaking out because AMD gets taken to the shed a bit, and then all of a sudden AMD ends up closing essentially where it was at its highest point after earnings last night. Can some of these names pull that off? And if they don't, well, we could be headed to some kind of a bear market. I think it's a little bit too early to say that, but right now you are selling off on some names that did not have bad earnings. You're going to be able to beat top and bottom line and at least be in line with guidance. I'm not expecting you to be double digits down.
Yeah, I have the ELF numbers. I don't know why those took so long for me to populate, and I'm also not seeing any of the accounts I follow doing like summaries of them as of yet, so I'll get into this, Elf, though, and thank you, Jack, for sharing the numbers as well. I do have the numbers on my platform, so I can give them to you guys for more detail. Elf, Q2 adjusted earnings, 68 cents per share, above estimates of 57. Sales were a miss, 343.936 million, missing estimates of 366.43 million. And honestly, as someone who wears makeup, I don't really know what the appeal of ELF is versus other products. I'm going to be real with you guys. They're guiding fiscal 2026 adjusted EPS 280 to 285, and that is going to be, oh my gosh, I have to make sure I'm reading this right, well below estimates of 358. That is, oh my God. So again,
okay, well, that's actually bad.
280 to 285, 358 was what we wanted. So I say big yikes. The guided sales here for this the year between 1.55 bill and 1.57 bill. Would you believe me when I said that also is going to be missing estimates here of 1.669 billion? I have AMC, so if you want to watch a movie tonight, or if you want a Nicole Kidman style clap your hands and say a word monologue, I've got the numbers for you. I hope someone got, I think you got that reference, maybe. The weird unhinged commercial. $1.3 billion in revenue, above estimates of 1.23 billion. So that's going to be a beat here. I'm not seeing too much else here in terms of numbers from AMC, but it looks like they always made the cut on this report. I'm gonna have to, yeah, and nice. It's one of those ones that doesn't actually show me the report. It just gives me a link to look at the report of their website that's usually broken. And I say that about all companies' earnings websites right after they report. It's not just AMC. Yeah. But yeah, 1.3 billion here for revenue, 1.23 billion estimate. That is a beat. And thank you guys for all the support in the chat. I'm having fun. It's been a crazy day. We're just trying to stay awake and entertain you guys with some earnings. I already went over Albemarle in our chat. I typed it out, but it was a double beat. Much better than expected. Loss per share, like way smaller than we thought, and sales beat.
Yeah, and for those still looking, Hood's actually climbing up a little bit better. So looking much better. But everything I was sort of saying about having good, obviously quality quarters and getting sold off, maybe we just don't apply that to ELF. I was mostly talking about the tech-related names that were doing it. But just to go further in the conversation, because I know there was some conversation in the chat, are we in a bear market, not? You have to remember, like when we pull back a little bit, or have a day where everyone's thinking, oh no, it's over, and then the first reaction, like we had that AMD, AMD taking us to the downside. SMCI actually closed 11% to the downside. We pulled back a little bit, and we bounced off prior highs. The NASDAQ bounced off prior highs and closed green today. Like, you need more than that to declare we're in a bear market territory. Like, we're not anywhere close to that. What I simply say is, when you come in to trade tomorrow, like you're thinking about to buy the dip, it's really important, do the buyers step in after some of these reports? Like, I'm going to want to see that. I think that's really important. Like, when I look over at ARM, okay, like it's holding up that bid. That's a very positive sign. This one's sold off going into this report. Okay, so if it ends up holding this bounce and makes a retreat to the high, then you just got a good value. I trimmed some ARM on the off chance that it actually would break this on the report, and then I could buy it back at like the 200 period moving average. Doesn't look like I'm going to get a chance to do that one with ARM, but mostly flattish. Like, it's up 3%, but it was up almost double digits. There's not much to the upside beating expected moves. ARM was expected 9%. It's up very slightly. There's names that are beating it to the downside. I don't think I've seen anybody. Maybe Snapchat, maybe Snap beats the expected move to the upside, but that's about it. Everything else is beating the expected move, and if they're doing so, it's a negative one. Snapchat, the expected move was 15%. This thing is through $9. It is up over 20%. It is well, you should be.
Oh, I just realized after. I was like, why am I not Snap? Poetry slam style Snap.
There you go.
Oh, that hurt my fingers. Okay.
Hurts your fingers to snap.
Okay, it's because I injured. I think I've told this story before. I injured this finger, and then the Winnipeg doctors never did the right thing, so it just is constantly in a state of not a vibe. So I shouldn't have even tried to snap. But
that sucks.
It's what it is.
I did that to my pinky.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was playing flag football. I scored like a winning touch. We had a stacked team in this church.
But you won. You won the shutdown.
I was in this church league, which, by the way, we had a stacked team in this church league. We had some ringers on the team. And I got the game-winning touchdown, but I was like I kind of it ricocheted off my finger, and then I caught it on the rebound and then ran 40 yards for the touchdown. And then after we were celebrating, like, this was like here and then down there is the best way to explain it. And someone pointed that out to me after the fact, and I was like, I'm fine, I'm celebrating. And then I looked at my hand and was like, well, that's not good. And then before I could even think about it, the quarterback of my team, who's not a doctor, by the way, he just kind of grabs it and is like, I'll put that back. And
Oh no.
you probably
Don't
shouldn't
do
have.
that.
And so we just did that. And now this finger's kind of all messed up. So, but I can still snap this fine. But this is the name that's going. Maybe this is our squeeze du jour. Robinhood, a bit of a nothing burger and a disappointment, I would say, despite the fact that it's not cratering like Elf, Duolingo, and a couple of other names here. But Snapchat, lo and behold, is the strongest earnings name this afternoon.
I think we have to mention here with Snap, once again, the Perplexity deal, probably
That's
not a
deal.
bad thing for them either. Devon Energy, because I've seen some people ask, I do want to talk about it. DVN here, Q3 adjusted earnings $1.09 per share, above estimates of 93 cents. Sales $4.331 billion, above estimates of 4.123 billion. We have Ian Anderson saying, Root guys, come on. Sorry guys, there are a lot of earnings. We cover what we can. I do not even have the number is available on my platform. It just gives me a link to the earnings thing on their website, which, as I've said, usually those are not easy to access. So let me see here. Do I see the report? From what I'm seeing, it looks, I don't have too much here on Root. I'm seeing one person saying they're up 27% year over year for revenue. Net income, a little bit weaker maybe than expected, but that's all I'm seeing for Root. So unfortunately, I can't really give you those numbers because I don't have a reliable source for them, and I never want to give you guys bad info. That is always my #1 goal here. Bumble did have earnings also, Neil, and they fumbled that a little bit on Bumble. Revenue was a beat. Barely, I guess, 246 mil versus 244.8 mil, down 10% year over year. Bumble app revenue down 10% year over year. Paying users, you guessed it, down 16% year over year. So, yeah, Bumble, I guess, getting stung a little bit there. We talked about Fortinet. We talked about, I don't think we talked about Dutch Bros. So I'll look into that, see if that one got a little bit caffeinated here. Yeah, so their non-GAAP earnings did beat here. Looks like revenue also beat estimates. Revenue guide 1.61 bill versus 1.61 bill to 1.615 bill. That's above estimates of $1.6 billion for BROS. So now I think we've probably gone over everything at least once. Like I said, with Figma, mostly what I'm seeing here is how their numbers compared to estimates. I want to go over a lift here one more time because that one is getting lifted.
Just for quickly, what was the EPS beat on Bros?
On Bros, it looks like they, I'm seeing 19 cents.
Okay.
Non-GAAP though. So there's always, that's the other thing too. There's always different versions and metrics of stuff.
Bros was extremely expensive price to earnings going into this. I mean, like really expensive. Like their PE was over 100 on Bros, and their forward PE was like 60. So that's like
this is not a bad report.
It's like really important that they beat on EPS.
Yeah, well, they did beat. I
significant
just checked. Yeah, 19 cents.
Very, very critical for them because obscenely overpriced when it comes to price to earnings for Dutch Bros. And it doesn't seem like they care about this. It's only up 3.5% on that beat. My guess is it's because the valuation is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm just looking here. Yeah, Harry Lou, we actually, first one we went over was Qualcomm, because Qualcomm came out at 4, and in fact, we already got the guidance while Sean was still talking on the main show. So it came out early, able to go over it again, because it is a major name. Q4 adjusted earnings, $3 versus 2.88 cents, $2.88 expected, so that's a beat. Sales also a beat, 11.27 bill versus 10.787 bill expected. Double beat. Q1 EPS, they're guiding between 330 and 350. Lower end of that slightly misses estimates of 331, but like the midpoint's going to be a big beat there. And then sales, 11.8 bill to 12.6 bill. That is going to be entirely above estimates of $11.617 billion. So good look there. AAPL revenue up a whopping eye-watering 68% year over year, and EPS up 96% year over year. I just saw that in the corner of my eye. And I do want to say, like, a quick note here for trading AAPL as someone who has done it. Always assume, A, this can move way more than you want it or hope it or need it to, and just, you know, try to hold a piece to the dream. And I say this as someone who struggles with that, specifically for AAPL. And B, this thing is crazy. This thing is wild. Trust your gut. Go with your instincts. Trust your trading knowledge. Again, not for the faint of heart.
Pretty sure it halted within the first few minutes the day after earnings last time.
It wasn't earnings. It was actually the day of the short reports.
Oh, that's what it was.
It got 3 short reports in like a 2-day span, 2 of them in the same day. It literally halted down. I was trying to get into a trade, and I'm like, why can't I see it? Oh, because it halted. Yeah. But yes, this is a $300 stock that halts. At the time, it was $300. You don't want, just be aware and be careful. I did go over Albemarle, but a lot of people want Albemarle, so go over it one more time. 19-cent loss per share, better than the expected loss of 78 cents. Sales, 1.3 billion versus 1.277 billion expected. Lift here, revenue in line with estimates, 1.69 bill versus 1.7 bill expected. That is up 11% year over year. Their EPS beat. Gross bookings for Lyft up 16% year over year. Active riders up 18% year over year. Gross bookings are expecting to be increased by 17 to 20% year over year. Guys, I really hope we were able to go over all these earnings for you. There's just a gargantuan amount of earnings. And for people wondering why L fell off the shelf, the guidance was, and I don't use this lightly, not very beautiful. I was going to say atrocious, but.
You could say atrocious for that one. I think that's absolutely fair. I'd give Robinhood was okay across the board with a slight miss on crypto. Elf was disastrous. Duolingo didn't seem like it was that bad, but they got smoked anyways. ARM was kind of good, and a whole lot of other names. Look, when we get to the roll call here, like I usually will say something like, you can type this into the chat, or when you jump in the chat to get your name read, make sure you hit that like and subscribe so you can do so. Thank a member of the team. Nah, this is going to be a get it, Adara, because this is the busiest earnings day in terms of raw names that report in each cycle. And Adara, you absolutely crushed it. So we got some roll call time. You know you want to hear, not me. It's going to be Adara here running your name in the chat. Jump in there and just say, get it, Adara, everybody, right now.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, Neil. I really appreciate it, Chad. I hope I got all of the major names for you guys. It's hard because not all these things I could find hard numbers on. Sometimes we just have metrics, but we always do what we can every single day. So thank you all. Thank you to Tyler Smith, Dijon Mustard, Rambanu. We've got Andrew Chow. We've got S.A. Walker, Harry Liu, Abhi Patel, Sage, Pitchbull, D. Westermeyer, Darth Trader. We have Skunker, Funker, Dinkelberg, Chad, Odyssey Fights, LFGJs. I'm sure Neil loves that username. Jacob Savage, DLV. We've got Swizzler Sniper, Will, Hypercube, Zariah. We've got Crypto, FOMO, Scott J, Adrenaline Angles, Adrian, Denise Mitchell. We've got Hinsey, Marlon B, Cloud C, Genghis Capital, I like that one. Sirac G, Marakis 100, and Mr. Easy Street, Larry H, a Yorkshire Pudding, Drop System, and we'll end here with Why Not. Thank you to Sean, thank you to Neil, thank you to Sharif, thank you to Joe, thank you to Brendan. We've got Ramin, Fabian, Andre killing it in the technical side of things with production, and we've got Mark, we've got Randy, we have Rob, we have Russell, we have this whole team, everybody you see, everybody you don't see, from us to you. Thank you so much for being here with us, and guess what, guys? There's another slightly less insane earnings slot tomorrow. I'll be here. Sean will be here. Check it out.
Absolutely. So with that, make sure you rest up. Another busy day coming tomorrow morning. And you know what we do. We bring you all the action in the market. This recap show has been brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex. We are Trader TV Live. We'll see you bright and early 8:30 in the morning. Rest up. We got another busy one.
Thank you very much, Dara.